felony escape. He was already serving time for terroristic threats and acts. Graham Carroll, 95.5 WSB.
A sunny sky, 60 degrees in Midtown right now, warming up to a high of 83. So when will we need the umbrellas again? Well, Atlanta's most accurate and dependable forecast is coming up. Well, still lots left on the to-do list to ensure the U.S. brokered Mideast ceasefire holds.
Satellite images assessed by the UN showing 83% of structures in the Strip are damaged. So much remains to be done. Not least how to end the famine here, how to rebuild, and how to dismantle Hamas.
Ian Pannell reports Israel is also awaiting the handover of the remaining hostages who died in Hamas captivity. Early voting gets underway today for 2 seats on the Georgia Public Service Commission. The commission is responsible for setting rates for utilities like electricity and natural gas. Incumbent Republican Tim Echols will face Democrat Alicia Johnson in District 2. In District 3, Republican Commissioner Fitz Johnson faces Democrat Peter Hubbard. The elections have long been delayed over legal challenges. Some parents in Decatur plan to pack a school board meeting today. This after word that board members are working on plans to potentially close a K-2 elementary school.
Parents like Ben Brewer say they had just a few days' notice.
Moreover, this process, I think, is not transparent.
He says they want more data and studies for a decision of this magnitude. Dr. Caroline Morgan Birchuk, who moved her family back to Decatur to raise her kids in the city schools, says a school closure leaves lasting scars.
And so I think that's where you're seeing immediately hundreds of parents say this is not our school system. This is not how it operates.
The school board work session agenda says a letter announcing the school closure would go out later this week. Jennifer Perry, 95.5 WSB.
The DeKalb County police officer killed in the line of duty during the attack on the CDC will be honored today at the Atlanta Police Foundation's Crime is Toast breakfast. The widow of Officer David Rose will be presented with the Purple Heart and the Medal of Honor. The small business optimism is down for the first time in 3 months. That's according to a new report from the National Federation of Independent Business.
With 64% of owners reporting that supply chain issues are affecting their operations. One bright spot, most small businesses are still seeing their profits rise.
Jim Ryan reports the findings also show nearly a third of small businesses had job openings that they could not fill last month. Well, researchers are calling for transparency when it comes to EV charging stations.
Drivers of electric vehicles rely on apps when it comes to locating charging stations, but what they don't show if they're available and wait times.
Only 34% of the stations reported real-time data about charging availability. So we were quite surprised at that number.
That's Georgia Tech researcher Omar Asensio. He says in Georgia, there are miles along Georgia interstates that don't have needed information. He says this report shows a real need for policies that would make real-time data available. Sabrina Cupid, 95.5 WSB.
Meta announces new restrictions aimed at younger users on what content can be viewed on Instagram. Starting today, the platform will prevent users it believes are under 18 from opting out of the new settings without an adult's permission. Meta is using AI to try to determine whether somebody may be lying about their age. It also gives adults the option to further tighten those restrictions and flag additional content that they consider inappropriate. It's 9:03. The Mark Arum Show begins in less than 2 minutes. First, though, time for live team coverage of traffic and weather. Triple Team Traffic with Smilin' Mark McKay.
Thanks, Cheryl. We're starting to see some improvement out of the northern suburbs. Still a difficult go of it between Alpharetta and Roswell on 400 southbound. Get past Holcomb Ridge Road. You're in much better shape to Sandy Springs. We're seeing a little bit of a break out of Gwinnett County and the Norcross area. Still difficult, though. 85 400 rolling into Midtown Atlanta. The 85 delays southbound now begin just north of North Druid Hills Road. Down to the south side and a slow zone. Ashley Fresca is following.
Probably the fourth crash southbound in Henry County we have seen this morning. This looks to be partially in the left lane. 75 southbound right at Hudson Bridge. Eagles Landing has you on the brakes back on 675. Triple Team Traffic, 95.5 WSB.
I'm WSB meteorologist Christina Upward. Sunny skies today, high 83, lows tonight in the mid-50s. Tomorrow, mostly sunny, high 84. Sunny skies on Thursday and a little on the breezy side, high 81.
Sunny, 60 degrees in both Marietta and Noonan. You're at 61 in Norcross. We'll have more news at 9:30. Breaking news when it happens. I'm Cheryl Castro, 95.5 WSB.
If it wasn't wildly inappropriate, Deborah, I would walk down the hall right now to the Severe Weather Center and give Christine Edwards a big fat kiss right now because,
perfect weather.
Oh my goodness, did you just hear that 5-day forecast? The good stuff rolls on. Welcome to the Tuesday edition of the Mark Arum Show on another beautiful morning here in Atlanta. We've got a stacked and packed show for you too. Obviously, a couple of big stories. The government shutdown, I believe it's day 14 now. Coming up next half hour, we'll go live to Capitol Hill, see if there's any movement on that. This did not surprise me. New study shows that kids that are in front of the screen more often, be it the television, the laptop, or the tablet, do worse in school. I really want to talk about that because I think that's an important study and research being done on the future of our nation as kids are just, you know it. I've got a friend, I'm not going to say his name, but he's got a young son, Deborah, and he is never not looking at a screen.
My younger niece is like that. She's always got it in her hand.
It's crazy, but I think I've got a workaround on that, how that screen time can be beneficial. I want to start off, though, with the story that we were in depth on yesterday, the historic peace deal and prisoner swap hostage release yesterday between Israel and Hamas. Kicking off our coverage this morning, White House correspondent from ABC, Karen Travers. Karen, we were all over the story yesterday. President Trump giving that hour-plus long speech in front of the Knesset. Then they moved to Egypt for the peace summit there. I guess the question is now, after the speech and the peace deal and the hostage release, is what comes next in this deal between Israel and Hamas?
Well, the president said yesterday that phase 2 negotiations have been begun, but he didn't get into details about what these next steps will look like. And this is important because phase 2 is going to be complicated. It's going to be time consuming. It's not going to be an overnight process. You know, the initial phase was getting the hostages released, getting a ceasefire, getting aid into Gaza. And that's happening right now. But phase 2 will involve big questions about governing structure in Gaza. How do you rebuild Gaza, the actual rebuilding there, and disarming Hamas? And that's, of course, important and an immediate thing that has to happen, and the security guarantees there. And there were not a lot of answers about that yesterday, despite the president saying that the negotiations are underway. But what you could tell, though, is that, you know, by his meeting in Egypt, he was trying to get buy-in from all of those countries that were there, whether it was Arab countries, European countries that have all played a part in the process so far to say, look, you know, you're all here for the celebration now. The hostages are back home with their families. The fighting has been paused, but now the next stuff is difficult. And so I think it was notable that you kept hearing him talk about how wealthy some of those Gulf state countries are. And I think he's putting the lean on them to play a big role in the reconstruction.
Yeah, that's something I've been saying for a long time. Whatever post-Gaza looks like, it will have to be those rich Arab nations that obviously chip in and help the rebuild process. Did you get to listen to or watch the hour-plus speech that President Trump gave to the Knesset? And if so, what were your big takeaways from that?
Oh, absolutely. I was live for it. And yeah, I mean, I think a couple things. I think the emphasis on the regional transformation that he sees. Obviously, he was highlighting what a significant day this was for Israel and for the people there who have been waiting for that moment and the hostages to come home, the families, of course, and also for the people in Gaza who now are hoping for some relief from what they've been going through. But I think the emphasis he put on what this could mean for a transformed Middle East, you know, his message was essentially, you all work together and there were things put aside in order to get to this deal. Let's see if this can keep going. Now, does that mean everything is going to be grand going forward? No. But I think that he was envisioning this as a transformational moment and hoping that this continues.
Yeah, and I think at least so far, the singular greatest achievement thus far of his two presidential terms is securing the ceasefire and the hostage release. Karen, I'm assuming the president's back stateside now or will be shortly. Will the summit continue in Egypt? And if so, who will be representing the United States there?
No, you know, that was really just a photo op, you know, to get everybody together, a symbolic signing of the agreement. The president said, you know, let's all meet a little bit afterwards, but he headed back to the airport pretty quickly. But I think the conversations continue. His special envoy, Steve Witkoff, said they are dug in, as he put it, at the direction of the president to continue these conversations, because now, like I said, comes the hard stuff. But we'll see who the president meets with next directly to engage on this. Notably, he has President Zelensky on a separate complex coming to the White House on Friday.
I know I'd be jet lagged after travel back from the Middle East, but does the president have anything on the agenda today? Anything we're watching for at the White House?
He does. He's actually welcoming the president of Argentina this afternoon for lunch, and today is the day he's going to give the posthumous Medal of Freedom to Charlie Kirk. So that's at 4 o'clock this afternoon.
4 p.m. All right. Karen Travers, ABC. Karen, as always, appreciate your time.
Have a great day. Thanks.
9/11 on the Mark Arum Show. So the president is back. He did address reporters on Air Force One, as he is often wont to do, as he head back from Egypt to D.C.
It's never been so safe. And the restaurants have never done better business. They're opening up they were closing restaurants, now they're opening new restaurants. I can do the same thing on a larger scale in Chicago. And Pritzker should ask me to do it.
That's President Trump commenting on the National Guard troops and the success he's had in D.C.
We have nobody coming in now. We have it really locked down. If they start winning cases like this, we're going to have a rush on our border because they're going to come up for health care and the other things that they give away.
President Trump there commenting on the border. He was asked about the Israel peace deal. I'll play you some of that audio next, but I want to continue our team coverage in Jerusalem. Nada Bashir from CNN this morning on the question that I just asked Karen Travers, like what happens next in this 20-point plan?
Well, look, we had a lot of big talk, a lot of significant commitments being made yesterday at the Sharm el-Sheikh summit, particularly from the U.S. president around this 20-point peace plan. We've heard from President Trump saying in his words that we are already into phase 2 of that plan. He says in his words that the war is over, despite the trepidation that there is held amongst some that there could be a return to hostilities if the ceasefire breaks down and if there are any violations. But of course, we saw that significant first step, the release of all living hostages, and now 4 deceased hostages. We've seen the return of hundreds of Palestinian prisoners as part of the deal. But there is still a lot of questions around what those next steps look like, around the details, questions around demilitarizing Hamas. That has been a key point for the Israeli government from the beginning of negotiations, what that looks like, how that will be finally achieved and guaranteed. And of course, we've heard indications from the Israeli Prime Minister that if this isn't achieved, in his words, the easy way, Israel will look to the hard way, as said by the Israeli Prime Minister just a few days ago. And then, of course, there's the question of internal security and governance, a peacekeeping force in the Gaza Strip. Again, no clarity around that. We've heard from the French President Emmanuel Macron saying that France will play a special role in that part. But again, we are still waiting for more clarity. And then, as you mentioned, of course, questions around the steps towards Palestinian statehood. Is this something that the U.S. president is committed to? It certainly is something that Arab leaders want to see. But again, no real firm commitments on that front.
Yeah, there's Nada Bashir this morning in Jerusalem. That is the big unanswered question, like what happens to Gaza now? Because, it is just absolutely demolished there. I think 80% of the buildings in Gaza are damaged. ABC News chief foreign correspondent Ian Pennell's in Tel Aviv.
Satellite images assessed by the UN showing 83% of structures in the Strip are damaged. So much remains to be done, not least how to end the famine here, how to rebuild, and how to dismantle Hamas. It'll require all of President Trump's efforts to make sure that this ceasefire turns into a lasting peace.
And again, the financial weight of this, and President Trump made it crystal clear yesterday. He kept referencing, Deborah, that he was being joined in Egypt by the richest nations on the planet. Pointing directly at the Saudis that, hey, you're going to need to step up and help in this rebuild of Gaza. I can't imagine that the United States would bear unless President Trump wants that, gets that hotel deal that he's been wanting on the ocean. But I can't imagine we are going to be supplying a lot of money in the rebuild of Gaza. The heavy financial lifting will be with our partners in the Middle East, most likely the Saudis. Going forward in the plan, we really don't know what happens next. But the question is, will Hamas completely disarm? Lionel Moyes from ABC.
One big question going forward,
will Hamas be willing to give up its weapons? President Trump says Hamas has been given approval to rearm to serve as a Palestinian police force for a period of time. Trump's peace plan ultimately says Hamas cannot play a role in the future governance of Gaza. Who will is now up for negotiation.
Now that's an angle to the story where I see some pushback from the Israeli prime minister. They don't want Hamas to be armed, but part of this deal is Hamas will be armed and become part of the policing of Gaza. And I've already seen allegations on social media that Hamas, still armed right now, right in the middle of this peace deal, there's a ceasefire. Israel's not firing it at Gaza. Hamas isn't firing at Israel. But Hamas is actually looking for the folks as they return to northern Gaza. We saw that video of the tens of thousands of people walking along the beach to head back north to Gaza City, that Hamas is going through those refugees that are coming back now and trying to identify anyone that might have helped Israel or the United States in this and murdering them. So I can't get into the mind of Benjamin Netanyahu, but the fact that Hamas is still armed, obviously, is something that I think he will take umbrage with. Back to Nada Bashir in Jerusalem. So yesterday, Deborah, remarkably, all 20 living hostages were returned in various states of health, but they were all returned back in that 72-hour window, which I thought was miraculous. I didn't think it would be happening. But only 4 of the 26 deceased hostages were returned. Nada, what's the future on the rest of the deceased hostages still in Gaza?
Absolutely. A lot of hopes dashed yesterday. Only 4 bodies returned. We know, of course, at this stage, according to authorities, that all 4 have been identified, only 2 publicly named. The remaining 2 authorities are waiting for the family's permission to name them. And this, of course, has been a heartbreaking moment for many families waiting for this day. But it was understood prior to Monday that this may be a long process. And while as part of the deal, Hamas had committed to returning all of the hostage, including all of those deceased, within the 72-hour framework, it was understood by all those involved in those negotiation efforts that might be a very difficult task ahead. Now, we do understand that there is said to be an international committee that is set to be established in order to assist in recovering those remaining bodies. Again, the details around that at this stage are unclear. We know that since the ceasefire has come into effect, Gaza's civil defense has been recovering hundreds of bodies buried beneath the rubble. But for the families awaiting to receive that closure, to finally lay their loved ones to rest, this will be a difficult moment as they continue to wait.
Indeed. Nada Bashir in Jerusalem this morning. Thankfully, Deborah, this studio was built in 1998, so there's a lot of wood around me, so I can knock on wood whenever I want. There's a lot of wood paneling here. Knock on wood that the peace deal holds and stability comes to the region. But obviously, still a fluid story, still unanswered questions. Any developments on the Israel-Hamas peace deal, we will bring it to you live here on 95.5 WSB. When we come back, speaking of traffic, heads up if you are a Peach Pass user. A local woman just got hit with a hefty fine. Right now, though, we got to check delays on the east side perimeter. Good morning to Mike Shields.
Hey, good morning, Mark. Yes, delays quickly forming on the east side perimeter. Here we go again. Another week of rolling road work, and that's what we have in the 2 left lanes. 255 southbound the Interloop. Right now, crews getting past Covington Highway, exit 43, working their way south down to I-20. So delays are already starting to pack up back around Highway 78. Be aware of that as you leave Clarkston, trying to get down to I-20. Better news in Henry County as you leave Stockbridge into McDonough. Long-standing crash cleared from the left lane. All lanes back open 75 southbound at Hudson Bridge Road. This report is brought to you by Staples. Have you heard the Staples Easy button is back with even more easy? Press it for custom prints, shipping services, and even passport photos. Staples, that was easy. I'm Mike Shields, 95.5 WSB.
When news breaks,
Hamas released the 20 remaining living hostages.
We've got it covered.
An estimated 250 Palestinian prisoners and 1,700 other detainees will be released.
Tune in often for the latest.
Hamas will be disarmed, and Israel's security will no longer be threatened.
95.5 WSB, Atlanta's breaking news station.
Hey, y'all, it's Belinda Skelton, and many of you know I've been talking about the amazing folks at Four Seasons Home Care for quite a while now. So many of you have asked me questions about if home care is right for your aging parents. So I brought in my expert, Deborah Barron of Four Seasons Home Care. Okay, Deborah, the main thing that people ask me is how flexible is home health care? Do I have to lock into a long contract?
There's no binding contract. We just have a service agreement that you would sign, and there's nothing that locks you into a plan. So we try to be flexible to follow the needs of your parent. Some of our clients start with just a few days a week, and I think that's a great way to ease into things.
Now, Deborah, I know that my parents needed a lot of care. They needed 24-hour around-the-clock care. But I'm sure some clients only need help preparing meals, things like that. How does Four Seasons Home Care deal with that?
Yes. So a big part of our process, and I believe the most important one, includes a home visit from our registered nurse. And she is going to sit down with your family member and go over everything and see exactly what you might need. Some people may just need a little bit of care, and others may need more in-depth, hands-on care. So they are brilliant at laying out a plan of care that's tailored for each situation. And I think you really need that kind of customization to ensure your parents get exactly what they need.
Folks, if you have aging parents who are clear that they want to age in place in the comfort of their homes, I cannot recommend enough the experts like Deborah at Four Seasons Home Care. It's 100% free and is such a crucial step in getting your parents what they need for their care and allows you, the child, to do your role, and that's just love them and be there for them. Google Four Seasons Home Care Atlanta. That's Four Seasons Home Care Atlanta.
There's so many things you want to upgrade on your home's exterior. You need experienced craftsmen who communicate and keep you comfortable through every step of your project.
Hi, I'm Charlie, owner of Painting Plus. Trust the Plus family of businesses for everything on your list.
Painting Plus, anything and everything exteriors at the highest quality. Siding, gutters, windows, decks, porches, roofing, and more.
Trust the Plus. PaintingPlus.com.
Fall is a busy time, and selling your home can be overwhelming. Get a guaranteed cash offer from Mark Spain Real Estate and sell your home stress-free and for the most money. Hi, this is Mark Spain, and our guaranteed offer is the easiest way to sell your home. With the guaranteed offer from Mark Spain Real Estate, you can bypass the market, receive the strongest all-cash offer in the industry, and close in as little as 21 days. Our guaranteed offer keeps you in control. Go to markspain.com to get a guaranteed offer on your home today. That's markspain.com and start packing.
Question for the sports fans out there. How many times has this happened to you? There's 1, 2, 3, up to 4 games going on at once that you want to watch. You want to watch them all, but up until now, you can't do it. That is until now. Hey, it's Mark Arum here. It's happened to me multiple times. So many games on at the same time, and I want to watch them all. But now, thanks to Xfinity's Multiview, I can enjoy up to 4 multiple live events at once on the same screen. Yes, 4 teams playing. You've got an interest in all 4 of the games. With Xfinity Multiview, you can now watch 4 simultaneously. That's like the greatest invention in sports history since the invention of the basketball hoop by James Naismith. Unbelievable. Xfinity Multiview. If you are a sports fan, you got to check it out. It's a game changer for my friends at Xfinity. Get all the information online at Xfinity.com or visit your local Xfinity store today.
At CertaPro Painters, we know that a happy place comes in many colors, like ones that inspire a sense of wonder, or a new flavor that makes life just a little bit sweeter, or one to celebrate those moments that lift you to new heights, at home or at work. We'll make your happy place your own. CertaPro Painters. That's painting happy. Each CertaPro Painters business is independently owned and operated. Contractor license and registration information is available at CertaPro.com.
We talked about the importance of scoring against this type of team, this type of quality of a team. We talked about being able to go down there and really execute our game plan, whether it was moving the chain on third downs or being able to own time of possession.
That's Atlanta Falcons coach Raheem Morris after the team's impressive Monday Night Football win over the Buffalo Bills. Welcome back to the Mark Arum Show. Bijan Robinson, by the way, bittersweet night for me because I love Bijan Robinson. He's in all my fantasy leagues but one. And the one league I don't have them is the worker league here, the Ken Charles Kenergy Cup League. And I'm embarrassed to say, Longoria, I truly am embarrassed for the show. I lost to Jared Yamamoto.
Oh, my gosh.
The most handsome producer in all of producery by
Anybody
1.2 points. 1.2 points. I had a big lead, but he had Josh Allen and Bijan, and it was bittersweet because I love Bijan. He had the 81-yard touchdown run. It was awesome, but I embarrassed. I apologize to Deborah, Longoria, Vinny. Our show lost to the Von Hessler Doctrine, which shouldn't happen.
It'll never happen again.
So congrats to Yamamoto, Solo Moto, but a great win for the Falcons and Bijan Robinson. All right, tease the story before. A lot of folks enjoy the Peach Pass. I certainly love it when I need to get out of a jam and get somewhere in time. A local woman, though, is hit with a 4-digit fine for what did she do wrong with her Peach Pass, Deborah?
All right, so this Atlanta woman says she was billed almost $1,000 in toll violations. And I don't know how many violations that is, but that seems like a lot of money to pay for tolls. And I grew up driving around Chicago where everything is a toll. But Rachel Crump, she said due to a clerical error, ended up costing her about $800. Now, she entered the number 1 instead of the letter I. So she was being charged for a completely different vehicle, and they were still charging her on their account.
She fat-fingered the info.
So she tried to fix it all up, and she was like, no, you still have to pay this fine. So she still owes them $800.
Well, I mean, did she use the lanes and just didn't get charged for it? I
think she was using the lanes, but probably not to the tune of $800. You know, like you use it every once in a while.
Yeah.
Like if you got your bill and all of a sudden it was $2,000, you'd be like, wait a minute.
That was part of the dowry I gave Maya when we got married. I was like, I'll pay your Peach Pass bill. So she's judicious with it, but which if she's on 85 and trying to come home from work and she'll and I get the bill. But I don't use it often. Maybe 3 times a year, 4 times a year, but having that Peach Pass in your back pocket is a good thing. They'll fix that. If she didn't use the lanes, she shouldn't get charged for them. Speaking of lanes, Vinny, can you try to find this video on social media? I'm an idiot for not saving it. It was, what are those 3-wheeled motorcycles called?
Trikes?
Yeah, but it's like there's a name for them. You ever seen them? They're really weird looking. You see them on the interstate. Anyway. Georgia State Patrol chased this dude on one of those 3-wheeled motorcycles. It was insane. Yeah, it was on 85 North, and then he got off on 400 North, and then he kept getting off the interstate and then back on the interstate. It was crazy. They finally got the guy.
Roadster, that's all it says. Trike or Roadster.
Roadster? I don't know. Family Truckster? I should have saved the video yesterday. I watched it. It was 7 minutes long. I was like, how is this going to end? Why are we fascinated with high-speed police chases? Anyway, they got the guy. No one was hurt. All's well that ends well. All right, news, weather, and traffic in less than 3. And then when we come back, we're going to update our top local stories. And we're going live to D.C. Day 14 of the government shutdown. Our coverage will continue next on The Mark Arum Show.
Scott Slade from iRoofer FGA Roofing. Are you considering a new roof but unsure about timing? FGA offers a free drone roof assessment. Get a quote and mention me and you'll get $1,000 off your quote. And the quote will be good for 12 months. Search FGA Roofing to book an appointment today.
At Ameris Bank, we know that it's never just business when it's your business. I'm Brian Parks, head of commercial banking in Atlanta for Ameris Bank. Whether your business is looking to optimize cash flow, improve your payment technology, or grow more quickly, my team and I are here and ready to help with a superior level of service, smart banking technology, and local market expertise. I invite you to reach out to my team by visiting amerisbank.com/yourbusiness or a local branch near you. Ameris Bank, fiercely yours, member FDIC.
Wise Guys keeps my home clean. Now they'll make it shine for the holidays. Wise Guy Lights will design, install, take down, and store my lights. No stress, no contracts. First-time customers mention me, Chris Chandler. Book by October 15 to get $100 off installation.
Men, trouble in the bedroom? Not anymore. Priority Men's Medical Center restores your love life in just one visit. Their painless breakthrough treatments eliminate ED and PE. Here's a specialist in men's health.
I'm Dr. Simovitz. Have Viagra or Cialis let you down? Priority Men's Medical Center offers the most effective treatments that eliminate ED and PE, with men lasting longer than ever. 98% of patients see instant results on their first visit.
Priority Men's Medical Center's breakthrough treatments eliminate ED and PE, regardless of age or medical history. Your consultation and first treatment are free. You'll see instant results in the office. Plus, qualified patients get their testosterone checked free. Call 404-885-8885. 404-885-8885. To restore your love life in just one visit, call now. 404-885-8885.
Live from the Superior Plumbing Studios.
News,
weather,
traffic.
95.5 WSB.
Atlanta's News and Talk.
Good morning to you. It's 9:30. I'm Cheryl Castro. News brought to you by Beaver Toyota of Cumming. Our top story on this day 14 of the government shutdown. TSA workers at Atlanta's Hartsfield-Jackson are getting a little help as they continue to work without pay.
TSA employees at the world's busiest airport have been on the clock like normal since the government shutdown started, and beginning today, they will receive meal vouchers for use at the airport's concessions. Aaron Barker, president of the local TSA Workers Union, says
for full-time officers, they will get 2 vouchers, and part-time officers will get 1 voucher, and it's for all concessions inside of the airport.
the vouchers are for a full meal plus a beverage. Barker says they will help alleviate a small amount of the stress that the workers are feeling. Jonathan O'Brien, 95.5 WSB.
New this morning, captured in Carroll County. An escaped inmate who is serving time for terroristic threats is back behind bars. Police concentrated the search for David Wheels near East Luke Drive and Highway 113, where he walked away from a work detail. Carroll County spokeswoman Ashley Halsey says Wheels will now face an additional charge.
Felony escape is what he's charged with right now through the Carroll County Sheriff's Office.
She says he was found and taken into custody this morning in the Villa Rosa Road area, close to where he walked away from. Well, a chain reaction crash on Interstate I-85 east of Metro Atlanta leaves 7 people dead. The Georgia State Patrol says it happened in Jackson County, just south of the Commerce outlets. 6 vehicles were involved in this crash, including a Fur Kids animal rescue van, which was carrying nearly 40 cats. Well, several ran from the scene and have not been found. Investigators have not said if charges will be filed. The White House will be hosting a celebration of Charlie Kirk's life today.
President Trump says he'll be posthumously awarding Kirk the Presidential Medal of Freedom.
They're going to have a great celebration at the White House in the East Room of the White House.
Kirk's wife, Erica, will be in attendance.
Mark Mayfield reports the 31-year-old conservative activist was shot and killed last month while speaking at a rally in Utah. Microsoft is no longer offering free security updates, bug fixes, and technical support to millions of Windows 10 users beginning today. Users won't be required to update to Windows 11, but they still have to start paying for updates if they stay on Windows 10.
If you can update to Windows 11, which came out a few years ago and is the most recent, that is what you should be running. But the people who haven't upgraded are the ones who are going to struggle with this the most.
Insure reports the updates make systems less vulnerable to hacking. It has been 10 years since Windows 10 first released. Well, Smucker's and Trader Joe's enter a legal battle over the PB&J sandwich. Smucker's is suing the grocery chain in federal court, accusing Trader Joe's of copying its Uncrustable sandwiches. The suit alleges Trader Joe's competing round crustless peanut butter and jelly sandwiches are just too similar to Smucker's. They also say the packaging is a direct copy. Kelley Blue Book says the average price of a new car in the U.S. now top $50,000. It's the first time.
Prices are up 25% from 5 years ago as Americans snap up pricey trucks and SUVs. The most recent surge is also being driven by luxury and expensive electric vehicles.
Bloomberg's Gina Cervetti reports Edmunds says new car buyers are now stretching the length of their loan to 7 years or more. It's 9:33, time to check traffic and weather. We begin now. Mike Shields live in the WSB 24-hour traffic center.
And Cheryl, travel advisory in Marietta, crash in 2 right lanes, 75 northbound, right at North Marietta Parkway to 265. Delays already start back at South Marietta Parkway, so 2 miles back. You can use Highway 41 Cop Parkway as an alternate. Just watch all lanes held and reopened in Midtown, 75-85 northbound, right at 17th Street Atlantic Station, trying to move that crash involving a tractor trailer to the right shoulder. They just did that. And reports of a table in the roadway, 85 southbound past North Druid Hills Road, getting down to Georgia 400. Watch out for Brookhaven Police and Atlanta Police looking for that in the roadway. I'm Mike Shields, 95.5 WSB.
This is WSB meteorologist Christina Upwards. Mostly sunny and warming up today, high 83, lows tonight in the mid-50s. Tomorrow, sunshine, high 84, breezy at times on Thursday with sunny skies, high 81.
And right now, sunny 63 in Powder Springs. You're at 62 in Woodstock, 65 in Decatur. More news at 10 o'clock. Breaking news when it happens. I'm Cheryl Castro, 95.5 WSB.
If it's happening on the streets of Atlanta.
Cobb County Medical Examiner's Office identifies 57 sets lots of cremains.
If it's happening on the roads leading to Atlanta.
Massive project at 285 and Georgia 400 has been a big improvement.
We've got it covered.
Atlanta jurors convict a former Customs and Border Protection officer.
Your 24/7 news source.
Covering the stories that impact you.
Tune in throughout the day to stay up to date.
95.5 WSB, Atlanta's breaking news station.
They want to have health care for illegals that have come in. Many of these people are criminals, and they want to have health care.
President Trump on board Air Force One asked about the government shutdown. Coming up next, we'll go live to D.C., the latest there. And how much screen time is too much for your child? 2 minutes away on The Mark Arum Show.
If you're ready for real European car lovers to work on your Porsche, Mercedes-Benz, BMW, Audi, discover Wolfpen European Auto Repair in Roswell. And for a limited time, get a free second opinion on repairs when you mention you heard about Wolfpen on the radio. Search Wolfpen Auto Repair to get started.
More and more these days, people are in pain, are taking control of their health and looking beyond the traditional medicine. Hey, it's Mark Arum. That's why QC Kinetics is so successful. People with chronic joint pain are learning that there are other options besides steroids, meds, and surgery. Patients fighting pain are getting lasting relief using advanced cellular treatments. It's QC Kinetics regenerative medicine that can revitalize your joints using growth factors from your own body. And check it out, guys. It's a simple injection. No hospital stay. It's fast, all natural, and no downtime. I want you to call QC Kinetics and get a free consultation. Exercise your freedom to look beyond the same old solutions. Thousands of patients around the country finding a better life with QC Kinetics and their amazing regenerative treatments. Call now to get started. 770-285-8026. That's 770-285-8026. Appointments available on Saturdays. Lawrenceville, Sandy Springs, Marietta, Stockbridge, Decatur, and Douglasville.
If you have Medicaid and are new to Medicare, you may qualify to enroll in a Humana Medicare Advantage dual eligible special needs plan with a lot more benefits like dental, vision, and hearing, along with helpful support when you need it most. Now is the time to see if you qualify to enroll. It only takes a few minutes to find out if you're eligible. Our licensed sales agents are ready to help you understand your options. So this Medicare planning season, we can help you plan well. Learn more at humanaduals.com. Humana, a more human way to healthcare. Humana is a dual-eligible special needs HMO SNP plan with a Medicare contract and a contract with the state Medicaid program. Enrollment in any Humana plan depends on contract renewal.
Happy 51st birthday, Natalie Maines, lead singer of the Chicks. We're the same age. Remember when she got canceled? That was fun times. Remember when the Dixie Chicks got canceled?
It was during the Bush administration.
Yeah, wasn't that one of the first artists to get canceled?
Well, that we know of. Probably,
that we know of, yeah. But anyway, I'm not a huge country person. I like classic country, old school country. Patsy Cline,
40s and 50s.
Yeah. But let me play it again. The Dixie Chicks have some really good songs. I'm a fan. Deborah's nonplussed. Welcome back to the Mark Arum Show. A couple minutes from now, we're going to go live to D.C., get the latest on day 14 of the government shutdown. But this story I wanted to, thank you, Natalie. I wanted to talk about new study shows, and this is really important if you're a parent or grandparent. The more screen time a child gets, the worse their grades are. Seems obvious to me, and I'm not judging because I'm on my phone more than anyone here on the Mark Arum Show staff. But what's the research say? How big of a drop in grades does it relate to the screen time usage?
Well, yeah, if you'd like to have a tablet be your kid's babysitter, you might want to rethink it because they tracked children from toddlerhood to the year 6, so 6th grade. And they've done this for the past couple years now. And they're saying for every single extra hour of daily screen time, which is like one episode of a show, right?
Yeah.
That their scores had a 9 to 10% lower odds of scoring in particularly math and reading. And it really hits hard for grades 3 and 5.
So those formative years, right?
Yeah, that's when you're really getting curious. You like to learn stuff, and you're really kind of getting the base to everything.
Now, I'm not judging. I have no right to judge on how you parent your child, because I know if in 1979 there were tablets, Mama Arum would have been like, "Here, leave me alone."
I mean, Gen X had TV, right?
Yeah,
we watch TV.
Exactly. So I am not judging, but I think that it's actually an educational opportunity The fact that kids are addicted to screens, like Deborah and I were addicted to MTV back in the day, which, by the way, is going away. We'll update that. It's just the accessibility of we couldn't take the TV with us in the car. We couldn't take the TV out on the back porch or have it out at restaurants, right? See, every time I go to a restaurant, I see kids on their tablets while their parents. And again, I'm not judging that how you raise your child, but I think there's an educational opportunity here. And I should take my own advice because instead of binge watching Slow Horses, which I saw are you caught up to date on Slow Horses?
Not yet. I'm waiting for it to be all out.
Oh, you're finished? Yeah. I'm doing the same with Tulsa King. I'm not watching Tulsa King till it's all out. Anyway, instead of binge watching these shows, there's so much education available on the internet right now that if your kid is addicted to screen time, take advantage of that. Instead of, I can only imagine a 6-year-old right now be like, hey, read this book. They look at you like, why? No, it's so boring. But if you go on YouTube, you can find educational videos on just about anything. They're worried about their reading and math score. There's educational videos on YouTube that can increase your child's abilities outside of the teaching environment in schools.
I think there's videos of people reading books to children.
Yeah, exactly. So it's not so much that the kids are spending too much time on the screen. They're spending it doing the wrong things, playing Candy Crush, or I'm so out of it. I don't know. Is that still a thing?
I'm not the parent. Ask the parent in the room.
They're mainly watching YouTube videos.
Sorry, so they're already on YouTube.
TikTok videos.
So what? As again, I'm not a parent, but what I would do and suggest is you come up with like a YouTube playlist. Be like, all right, you want to be on your screen? You have to watch all these videos first. There are videos that help you learn foreign languages, right? There are videos that show science and history. Like I go in YouTube rabbit holes and find amazing historical, archaeological video. Like if your kid can't give up the screen, put it to good use. And then reward them. All right, you watch an hour of this educational stuff on this playlist, then you can, whatever, look up Taylor Swift video, whatever they're looking up. Yeah, so I think there's an opportunity to use those screens to educate, or say Duolingo. Have you ever tried Duolingo, Deborah?
I use it every day.
Yeah, like I don't know if kids would be into that.
Leslie's doing it right now, and the girls are kind of latching onto that. They want to start doing it.
I hear Maya. I'll be downstairs with Soba, and Maya's she goes to bed earlier than me, and I'll hear the little ding I'm like, oh, Maya's learning Spanish. I've tried it on Japanese. I gave up early because I'm gonna get back in there. But there's opportunities for us to educate our kids. If the kids can't give up the screen time, then use that screen time wisely. It's remarkable the amount of free education is out there now in 2025 compared to 1985. You wanted to learn something in 1985, if you didn't learn it in school, you had to go to the library and hit the Encyclopedia Britannica. But now you can go on YouTube and get, even if your kids are getting closer to driving age, there are videos on how to change your tire, how to change your oil on your car, how to change your wiper, how to do all this adult stuff. So if the kids can't give up the screen time and it's poorly affecting their grades and their testing scores, use that to your advantage. Carrot and the stick method. All right, you can watch whatever you want on YouTube after you watch this playlist that I've accumulated for you. All right, Uncle Mark's going to stop there. But I think it's a fascinating story. All right, continue our team coverage of day 14 of the government shutdown. We're going live to Capitol Hill. CBS News, Torian Small. Torian, good morning. Thanks for your time.
Hey, good morning. Thanks for having me.
We have any good news yet, day 14 into this?
No.
No.
We did just get guidance from the Office of Personnel Management and OMB. They basically said that they're looking at other ways to continue with their priorities. They said they're basically batting down the hatches to ride out this uncertainty that we're seeing from Capitol Hill. But the main priority here appears to be paying the troops, paying law enforcement, and then continuing with these mass layoffs, also known as reduction in forces. And what we learned over the weekend from the Trump administration was that they're looking to appropriate unobligated research and development funds from the Pentagon to be used to pay these troops. Now, just how long or how sustainable that will be is to be seen. But again, we're on day 14. The last time we had a government shutdown, it went around 30-plus days. So we'll see how long this one lasts.
Yeah, I believe I heard from Speaker Mike Johnson yesterday saying, buckle up, this could be a long one. You mentioned the RIFs. We got hit here heavily in Atlanta over the weekend. 1,000 CDC workers are fired. Unfortunately, two of my friends got that RIF notice. I heard there was some talk from the administration of using all of this new tariff money to pay the troops and pay the folks that aren't getting paid right now. Is that a possibility? Does the executive branch have the power of the purse strings when it comes to this?
Well, that's the really gray area around this. This is obviously a relief for House Speaker Mike Johnson, who was receiving an immense amount of pressure from not just Democrats, but some Republican members in his ranks, saying that he should bring Congress back and they should consider standalone bills to appropriate money or funding for troops pay, for example. But what's interesting, over the weekend, I talked with Representative Amelia Sykes, who authored, and she was one of the bipartisan sponsors for the Pay Our Military Act. She said that her main concern with this solution that the Trump administration is putting out is the legality of it. Congress is the body that holds the power of the purse. So without their authorization, it's unclear if President Trump going forward with these unilateral moves to fund these specific departments is allowed, and whether or not that would be tied up in the courts is another thing to be seen. I don't necessarily know if optically it will look great to challenge that type of move, but again, it does call into question whether or not the executive branch can move unilaterally when it comes to appropriations.
Yeah, Congress, I mean, they are the ones that allocate the money. They have the power of the purse, and they're not in session. What's the latest with our congressional leaders?
Yeah, so the Senate returns today. It's likely today that they'll vote for an eighth time on dueling continuing resolutions, one proposed by Democrats that includes expanding health care tax credits set to expire at the end of the year, and then also some other things to roll back some Medicaid cuts that we saw happen earlier this year. And then the other one, which is known as a clean continuing resolution that Republicans passed out of the House. And that essentially keeps spending levels at the current levels they were before October 1st, the government shutdown happened. The problem is it doesn't appear that both sides are talking to each other outside of those tiffs, those very public tiffs in the hallways of Congress. But whether or not negotiations are going on is still yet to be seen.
No surprise, Democrats blame Republicans, Republicans blame Democrats. On Capitol Hill, is it easy to see, or can you see which side is facing more pressure from the public in regards to the government shutdown?
Well, according to our polling, we know that a slight majority of respondents believe that Republicans are to blame for this. I believe that's also part of the reason why the Trump administration has been hitting so hard to center this as Democrats' fault. The OMB this morning put out a post on social media saying that this is a Democrats' intransience. We saw over the past week the Department of Homeland Security putting out these video messages at airports with Director Kristi Noem, basically saying Democrats are the reason why you're seeing delays in your flights. And then we also know, pretty consistent since the shutdown happened, Republican leadership have been holding press conferences pretty much calling out Democrats for this. Democrats are, of course, pushing back, saying that the real issue here is the fact that Republicans went at this alone. They didn't include them as part of any negotiations for a continuing resolution. And the problem still exists that these very important premiums, healthcare premiums, will go up if there isn't any negotiations or any intervention now. And they say they aren't willing to accept an IOU and help them get across the finish line this time.
Yeah, we'll see once the open enrollment start if public sentiment changes. Torian Small, CBS News, live in D.C. Torian, as always, appreciate your time.
Thank you.
Tori mentioned that Kristi Noem video from the Department of Homeland Security. I'm going to play the audio of that video that is supposed to be playing in airports around the country right now, but apparently is not. I'll play that after a quick break. And a check of your Tuesday morning ride. Back live to the traffic center, the latest from Mike Shields.
And Mark, top traffic story right now is in Marietta, where the crash appears to be in the clearing stages. That's the good news. But 2 right lanes remain blocked. I-75 northbound right at North Marietta Parkway, exit 265. Delays start back 4 miles back, starting at Delk Road, exit 261. That's the last chance to really exit off, go west, and then use Highway 41 Cobb Parkway north as an alternate around that. And good news in Midtown, crash that had all lanes blocked for just a few minutes moved to the Gore, 7585 northbound, right at 17th Street. This report is brought to you by Anthem Blue Cross and Blue Shield. Learn more about their support of common threads in nutrition education at anthem.com/dream. Anthem Blue Cross and Blue Shield is the trade name of Blue Cross Blue Shield Healthcare Plan of Georgia, Incorporated. I'm Mike Shields, 95.5 WSB.
He's the guy at the desk next to you.
We only want to be around people who think exactly like us.
He's your co-pilot for the ride home.
God forbid you actually converse about the world.
Eric Von Hessler.
Smash and conquer, my friend.
Eric Von Hessler.
Today at 3.
95.5 WSB, Atlanta's News and Talk.
Finley Roofing, the roof guys know that furry friends are family, and some need our help. In keeping with their connection to the community, Finley Roofing presents WSB's Dog of the Month. This Friday, we'll highlight a dog from Paws Atlanta. If you adopt them, Finley Roofing will pay your adoption fees. Listen Friday morning at 8:50 and visit WSBradio.com/dog. Dog of the Month is presented by Finley Roofing, the roof guys, Paws Atlanta, and 95.5 WSB.
At SouthernLink, we know wireless connectivity keeps business moving. Whether you're overseeing assets in real time or monitoring crew activities, our Critical Link LTE network can keep your business applications accessible as you travel. Call 1-800-818-LINC or visit southernlink.com to learn more about our mobile data solutions, LTE voice and data services, mission critical push-to-talk, and interworking solutions. SouthernLink, pushing the limits of what's possible.
Don't get fooled by window fiction.
It's Ted and Jonathan from North Georgia Replacement Windows. Now they're calling it vinyl composite, but no matter how they say it, vinyl windows are still bulky, cheap, and plastic.
Infinity from Marvin fiberglass windows are beautiful, not big and bulky like vinyl composite windows.
Experience the fiberglass difference at your home or in our new Alpharetta showroom. 0% interest available.
Infinity from Marvin Replacement Windows, yeah!
'Tis the season. Have you gotten your flu shot? At All Care, our experienced flu specialists are dedicated to providing comprehensive and personalized care, from vaccines to testing to treatment. And you can walk right in to any of All Care's 15 Atlanta locations and access our unique combination of primary and immediate care under a single roof. For flu season and beyond, say goodbye to waiting for the doctor and say hello to All Care, a proud member of the Piedmont Clinically Integrated Network.
It might be too early for Christmas carols, yes indeed, but it's not too early to plan for your holiday lights. I'm Chris Chandler, and Wise Guys Pro Wash, well, they already keep my home's outside looking great. Now they handle my holiday lights, too, and honestly, I am relieved I don't have to hang off that ladder myself anymore. With Thanksgiving right around the corner, family and travel, all the holiday busyness, wrestling with lights last minute is the one thing I do not want to deal with. Wise Guys makes it simple. They custom design, they provide the lights, install, and when the season is over, they take everything down and store it for me. Best of all, they're local. No contracts to lock you in. Free service calls within 24 hours, and you can change up the design each year for a fresh look. Now, they book up fast. I don't want you to miss out. First-time customers mention my name, Chris Chandler. Book now to get $100 off installations before October 15th. Get off the ladder. Let Wise Guys Lights brighten your holidays in more ways than one.
I'm Ed Evans, CEO of Consumer Cellular. Ever wonder why the big wireless companies want you on an unlimited plan? It's because they need you to help cover the cost of the 20-somethings who are using a lot of data every month. Fact is, according to the latest research studies, most people 50 and up, like me, only use 12 gigs or less each month. Don't get bamboozled by big wireless. At Consumer Cellular, pick what suits your needs. Whether it's 1 gig, 5, 10, or unlimited, the point is, pay for exactly what you need and nothing more. We use the same towers as the big guys, but since we don't own and maintain them, we can pass the savings on to you. Our plans start at just $20 a month, and you'll get the best customer service in the business. I want to invite you to join the millions of people who choose something better than big wireless. Because if you're not using all that data, you're probably getting used.
Call 1-888-FREEDOM or visit consumercellular.com/facts. Plans include $5 credit for auto pay and e-billing. See site for additional facts.
I think what we could see of more delays, more ground stops, more inconvenience to everyone.
That's Democratic Congressman Lloyd Doggett. Doggett, I'm going to go with, commenting on a ground stoppage yesterday at the Austin International Airport in Texas because of staffing issues. The stoppage was eventually lifted around 9:30 p.m. Monday night. So if you are traveling during this government shutdown, be careful. Speaking of the airports, Kristi Noem, I mentioned in that last segment, provided a video to go out to TSA deployments in airports around the country talking about the government shutdown. But apparently some airports are saying this is too political a message. We're not going to play it. Here's what it sounded like.
Hi, I'm Kristi Noem, the United States Secretary of Homeland Security. It is TSA's top priority to make sure that you have the most pleasant and efficient airport experience as possible while we keep you safe. However, Democrats in Congress refuse to fund the federal government, and because of this, many of our operations are impacted, and most of our TSA employees are working without pay. We will continue to do all that we can to avoid delays that will impact your travel, and our hope is that Democrats will soon recognize the importance of opening the government.
So several major U.S. airports, including Las Vegas, Harry Reid, Portland International, Seattle, Charlotte, all three in New York, are not playing the video, saying it could violate the Hatch Act, which is, you got to keep politics out of things. I don't know if any airports are actually playing it or not. The Hatch Act, by the way, 1939 law, which prohibits political activities of federal employees to ensure government programs are administered in a nonpartisan fashion. TSA checkpoints often include videos featuring government officials welcoming travelers and explanations of procedures, but they usually do not contain political messages. Unrelated to that, I think my hope, Deborah, of becoming one of the on the billboards at Atlanta's
like
Hartsfield.
when you come up the ladder stairs, yeah.
So our buddy Andy, who used to be the spokesperson for Atlanta Hartsfield Jackson International, said he was going to make that happen. Like there's, Atlanta media personalities say, "Welcome to Atlanta," and they have, "This is my airport shirt." And Andy's like, "Oh, we'll make it happen." But now he left. He's running the Maine Department of Transportation, which is a good job.
It just leaves you out in the cold.
Yeah. But if whoever replaced Andy, you want to fulfill his campaign promise of getting me on that. I just, I just want it once. Like the next time my parents fly in, that they're going up the escalator and they see their husky son welcoming them to Atlanta. That'd be pretty cool. Or Longoria in the Stoic T-shirt, which I've got to now buy you. How crazy is that? Yeah, poker guy wearing this shirt. I think it's in reference to you. It just says Stoic. He's the Stoic Eskimo. All right, news, weather, traffic, and then we'll come back, update our top local stories. Social medias are active throughout the broadcast at Mark Arum, MarkArum.
WSB Atlanta, WSBB FM, and HD1 Doraville. 95.5 WSB, Atlanta's News and Talk.
I'm here with Chris Hoffman, the founder of Hoffman Financial Group and host of Money Unleashed. Chris, every week on the show, we offer folks something we call the Portfolio X-Ray. I was hoping you could walk us through that process and tell us why the information it uncovers is so powerful.
Yeah, so the reason we love doing the Portfolio X-Ray for you is we do that behind the scenes. Everybody's extremely busy. Nobody wants to waste time in traffic. If you call in, we will ask you for some information via the phone. Once you've given us that information, we go to work and we put all the hours in developing the report. And I commit this to you. The Portfolio X-Ray is eye-opening. At least 90+% of the time, we can find 2 or 3 golden nuggets in there that you were not aware of that we can either change in your current portfolio mix for you. It's called a 401k optimizer. Or if we manage the assets for you, we certainly can recommend how to diversify away from some of the troubling points that are exposed during the Portfolio X-Ray. Once we've got that, then we'll have you in for your initial consultation. We will present the Portfolio X-Ray to you and walk you through the high points of it. And that's a document that you get to take with you. It's like getting a financial physical. So how many of you avoided going to the doctor for the annual physical last year. You do the same thing with your financial life. You ignore it. You keep pumping money into your 401k. You hope that it's going well, and I can tell you that hope is not a good investment or financial planning strategy. You need to know. So if you want to know, call us.
The Portfolio X-ray is complimentary. Give Hoffman Financial Group a call to schedule yours today. 404-737-3858, 404-737-3858, or online at unleashyourmoney.com. Investment advisory services offered through Brookstone Wealth Advisors, a registered investment advisor. Insurance and annuities offered through Hoffman Financial Group Incorporated, Georgia Insurance License number 163546.
News, weather,
traffic. 95.5 WSB, Atlanta's News and Talk.
Hi there, good morning. It is 10 o'clock. I'm Sabrina Cupid. This news is sponsored by TE Certified Electrical Plumbing, Heating, and Air. Let's start with your money. Trade tensions with China increasing as both countries impose new tariffs this morning. Correspondent Kelly O'Grady reports there is some good news, though, with other countries.
If you're buying from certain countries that agree to trade deals with the U.S., you'll get a reprieve. So, for example, the UK tariff, that's capped at 10%. Japan and the EU are at 15%. U.S. officials, they say the tariffs aim to strengthen domestic manufacturing, but these higher lumber costs, they could trickle down to new home prices. And then, of course, anyone looking to furnish their homes could feel the impact, too, especially if you're looking for those cheaper options from China and India.
And those trade tensions are to blame for the markets tanking this morning. Let's take a look. The Dow's down 380 at 45,687. So the Dow's down almost a full percent. NASDAQ's down more than 1.5%, and the S&P also in the red, down more than a full percent here in the 10 o'clock hour. Your weather for today, sunny skies. Temperatures trending a little warmer than it should be, 5 to 10 degrees above normal for this time of the year. Afternoon highs around 83, says WSB meteorologist Christina Edwards. This just in, the Supreme Court this morning rejecting Alex Jones' appeal of $1.4 billion in the Sandy Hook judgment. Jones said that the 2012 Sandy Hook Elementary School shooting was a hoax staged by crisis actors. 26 people, including 20 children, were killed in that shooting. In addition to the $1.4 billion judgment from a Connecticut lawsuit, Jones is facing a nearly $50 million judgment from a Texas court. The court today rejecting that appeal from Jones. An inmate who disappeared from a prison work detail has been recaptured this morning in Carroll County.
David Emsley Wheels was working in an area near I-20 and Highway 13 near Temple when he walked off that detail. A perimeter was established and a manhunt extended through the overnight hours.
We concentrated our efforts in the area that we knew he was last seen in.
Carroll County Sheriff's Department spokesperson Ashley Halsey says Wheels was located early Wednesday and taken into custody without further incident.
Felony escape is what he's charged with right now through the Carroll County Sheriff's Office.
And Wheels was already serving time for terroristic threats and acts. Graham Carroll, 95.5 WSB.
Update this morning on that 6-month-old missing child in Clayton County. Police have now named the baby's father, Antonio Pierce, as a suspect after finding inconsistencies in his story about what happened. He claims that he was robbed and the little boy was taken at that time. Clayton County officers have broadened, Clayton County officers have broadened the search area for that 6-month-old boy. They are reviewing surveillance footage and canvassing neighborhoods for leads. You can check back for updates. We'll be following this story. All right, time for live team coverage of traffic and weather. Ashley Frasca, help me out here. How are we looking on the roads?
Really big delays through Clarkston as you travel the inner loop 285 south below Highway 78. Crews are working in a couple of left lanes anywhere between Covington Highway and Glenwood Road on the brakes the entire way. 285 northbound, there's a crash clearing on the exit ramp to La Vista Road, a little slow there. And better news traveling up into Marietta, cleared that crash to the shoulder, 75 northbound at the North 120 loop. I'm Ashley Frasca, 95.5 WSB.
I'm WSB meteorologist Christina Edwards. Sunny skies today, high 83, lows tonight in the mid-50s. Tomorrow, mostly sunny, high 84. Sunny skies on Thursday and a little on the breezy side, high 81.
It is 67 degrees right now in Roswell and Riverdale. Tucker, you have 68 degrees. We'll have more news at 10:30. Breaking news when it happens. I'm Sabrina Cupid, 95.5 WSB.
Welcome back to the show and a good Tuesday morning to you. Mark Arum here, you there. It's 10:03, 3 minutes after 10 o'clock. This, my friends, is the Mark Arum Show, heard live Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. noon on 95.5 WSB. The Core Four with us today. Deborah, executive producer of the program. Longoria, the stoic Eskimo on the other side of the takeout window. Down south, Vinny screens your calls. Coming up next hour, we'll get the latest on the Israel-Hamas hostage hostage release peace deal. Still a developing story there out of Israel and Gaza. Deborah's got tickets to give away again today to Heart at Gas South Arena. We'll give those tickets away at 11:37. I was very sad when I saw the markets futures. They were down, and the Dow's down right now, 370 points. NASDAQ's down 324 after a big rally yesterday. I'm assuming it's related to tariffs. Trade tensions with China increasing as both countries impose new tariffs. CBS News Money Watch correspondent Kelly O'Grady reports.
Timber, lumber, and certain wood products. They'll include a 10% duty on softwood lumber, as well as a 25% tariff on upholstered wooden furniture, kitchen cabinets, and vanities. Starting January 1st, though, those rates increase. So upholstered wood furniture may tick up to 30%. Kitchen cabinets and vanities may double to 50%.
That's the story we talked about a couple weeks ago, Deborah. So if you're like remodeling your kitchen, or you want to remodel your kitchen, I guess you do it before the end of the year? What's more important to you? Because I know my answer. If in your home, do you want a fantastic kitchen or a fantastic bathroom?
Ooh, a kitchen.
Yeah,
because my bathroom is my bathroom, right?
Yeah.
Like guests are just going to go into whatever, but the kitchen is everyone kind of comes in and sees the kitchen.
Sure, that's
I like
a good
to bake
point.
stuff. I made treats yesterday.
They were so good. In my bachelor days, pre-Maya, I rarely went into the kitchen. In fact, I used my stove as storage. I would store stuff in my
Inside the stove,
because
yeah.
I never would use it. So obviously, I mean, Maya's gonna be like kitchen, but for me, give me a refurbished bathroom ahead of that. In addition to the tariffs, and again, I'm not trying to connect the dots, but maybe that's why we're seeing the markets fall a little bit today. The Trump administration has started charging Chinese ships to dock at U.S. ports. Michael Wallace has the story.
The goal is to lessen China's dominance of commercial shipbuilding and give America's shipbuilding industry a better chance. China has threatened to retaliate by slapping fees on American ships when they dock in China. This latest battle in the trade war comes a week after President Trump threatened an additional 100% tariffs on Chinese imports, after China announced tougher restrictions on rare earth minerals needed for semiconductors and fighter jets.
All right, so while we have peace in the Mideast, we are still dealing with the Russia-Ukraine war and this trade battle with China. I don't know much about the shipping industry, but I just assume that you get charged anyway. Like, isn't that... Like, if you dock your boat...
You pay to park everywhere here.
I just assume that, if a Chinese ship was bringing in imports to our beautiful ports here in Georgia, like, there's a docking fee. Shouldn't there be?
Yeah, I would think so. But maybe they're charging extra.
My buddy in college, Scratchy, that was his nickname, not his real name. He worked at the marina just below the Twin Towers, Battery Park City Marina. And these huge yachts would come in. And they'd have to pay like exorbitant docking fees, like just to like park. Like it's like, oh, it's $1,000 an hour. I don't know what it was, but I just assumed that we would charge and China would charge us anyway. The shipping industry is outside of my depth of knowledge, as is our next subject. Joining us from ABC News, tech reporter Mike Dobuski. Mike, I know very little. You can ask 100 people. They probably know more about quantum computing than I do. I really don't know. You took a trip up the Taconic Parkway yesterday and checked out IBM's Thomas J. Watson Research Center in New York's Hudson Valley, talking about the future impact that quantum computing could have on the world. What can you tell us?
Yeah, that's absolutely right. So to talk about quantum computers, we first have to understand how normal computers work. And to make a very long story quite short, it all comes down to ones and zeros. So, Mark, you've likely seen The Matrix at some point or another in your life. You remember when the numbers come cascading down off the top of the screen and they're all ones and zeros, the binary code? Those are called bits. That's actually a real computing thing. And those bits are the basic building blocks of computers today, right? If you arrange enough of those bits in various configurations enough, you can dictate what a photograph looks like on your phone, or how many options a drop-down menu has on a website, or what a video game looks like, for instance. Again, they're the building blocks that underpin the majority of our computing landscape today. Quantum computers use different building blocks, right? They're completely different, and that's one of the first things that you need to understand about these things, is that they're not being billed, at least right now, as a replacement for our traditional computers or our classical computers, as IBM likes to call them. They're kind of their own separate thing right now. They're off to the side, being developed separately, and they use, again, different building blocks, not bits, but quantum bits, qubits as they're known. A qubit can be a 1 or a 0. It's a variable between the two of those options. And based on when you run a program or do a calculation, the probability of it being 1 or 0 changes, right? It can be a 1, it could potentially be a 0. It's some variation between those two things. Again, it's pretty heady, but the basic effect, the thing that you need to know is that this extra variability allows these computers to do far more complex calculations, far more complex programs than normal computers are able to handle.
And that's what the breakthrough researchers hope will be, that this literally takes computing to the next level, right? What kind of industries could quantum computing really, have a huge impact on?
Yeah, it's a great question. So up until very recently, this has been pretty theoretical. For example, last year, Google made some news in the quantum computing space by getting their quantum chip, which they call Willow, to do a calculation, basically a really complex math problem that they came up with. What would take a normal computer 10 septillion years to do, that's longer than the known history of the universe, one with 25 zeros, their quantum chip was able to do it basically instantaneously.
Wow.
And that is kind of gives you a sense of exactly how quickly these computers can work. But last month, HSBC, the bank, announced that it was using IBM's quantum computer, the same type that I was looking at yesterday in New York State, to help predict the bond trading market, about 35% more accurately, in fact. But if IBM is to be believed, that is eventually going to be your money that is being sold and traded back and forth based on these quantum algorithms. And then you consider the application in things like drug development or artificial intelligence, and it could accelerate all of that progress really dramatically. Again, a problem that took 10 septillion years for a normal computer to do, these quantum computers can do basically at the flick of a switch. Imagine applying that to something like medicine or finance or technology or scientific research.
You read my mind, Mike. I was going to ask any implication on AI, which is already moving at such a rapid pace. Throw quantum computing into that mix, and who knows what AI can do.
Yeah, absolutely. So I was talking to Jerry Chow, who is the head of IBM's quantum projects, at that company. And he said that AI is basically going to be used in two different ways when we talk about quantum computing. Right now, while this technology is still in its development phase, right, we're still figuring this out. It's not quite a mature technology yet. It's being used to help with things like coding. We know that AI is pretty good at that. We know that it can kind of like take the place of certain entry-level coding jobs and coming up with those questions, right, to help demonstrate the utility of these computers. And so it's AI going in a little bit to help with the sort of coding aspect of these things, but it's also going to be AI going out eventually. Again, if all these promises and these deadlines are kept and these targets are met, then they say that these quantum computers can help speed up the development of generative artificial intelligence. At this point, it's developing very rapidly in Silicon Valley. There's some questions about whether the money is going to stay there. So I think there's a lot of variables around the current date of generative AI. But if quantum computing meets it and it's still a thing that the technology sector is interested in developing, well, it could have huge implications. We could be seeing a lot more AI tools come out a lot more quickly, potentially a lot more accurate tools, a lot more sophisticated tools, a lot more intelligent tools. But again, a lot of sort of variables before that actually becomes a reality.
Final quick question for you, Mike, unrelated to quantum computing. Again, this is not a space I'm comfortable in, the computer space, but I wasn't aware that international business machines was still a relevant entity in the 21st century. It's good to see that IBM's still in the game, if you will.
Yeah, and this is something that they're really selling as one of their comeback moments, right? IBM is more than a 100-year-old company. It is one of our kind of longest-lived institutions in the tech space. And if you look at something like AI, well, they were the developers of Watson, right? That was the robot that won Jeopardy many years ago, if you remember that. We're not really talking about IBM when it comes to the development of artificial intelligence. They kind of got usurped in that particular race. Now now they're putting their eggs into the quantum computing basket. And I think that's important to note because this is really one of those games where it's all about where you put your eggs, right? Are we going to bet that AI is going to be the future of the industry? Are we going to bet that crypto is going to be the future of the industry, or the metaverse, or electric vehicles, or quantum computing? That is essentially where all these tech companies find themselves right now. And IBM is putting a lot of its eggs, a lot of its development power, and a lot of its money into the quantum computing bucket. It's not something that should be ignored, I think.
Mike Dubusky, ABC News. Mike, great insight as always. Appreciate your time, my friend.
Of course, Mark. Take care.
So where I went to school in the Hudson Valley, just north of where Mike visited that IBM facility, there was a big IBM campus there in Poughkeepsie, and it was such a game changer economically when they built it that all of these businesses built up around it, including the Italian restaurant where I waited tables. Like, because there was all of a sudden 1,500 well-paid IBM employees that moved into the area, and businesses just exploded. And IBM in the early 90s was still a behemoth, and they would give Marist College millions of dollars for a new computer center. And so we were one of the first campuses to have every kid had an email address. So I had an email address in like 1991, which is pretty crazy. It was like a number of letters. It was like XJY321Z at musicb.com. So it was like crazy. Like you couldn't, but it was such a big thing. And then International Business Machines, by the way, they kind of went off the map. When was the last time you heard about IBM in the tech space?
Yeah, I mean, here we use Dells at work, and then I'm a Mac person at home. So yeah.
I mean, you think about in the tech space now. There's obviously Microsoft is still a huge thing, but you're thinking about Apple and all the social media apps. But I had no idea that IBM was still a thing. And as Mike said, they're betting the horses on this quantum computing, and hopefully it'll work out. I mean, IBM was a huge deal back in the day. Good to see they're still out, unlike Kodak, which also used to be a huge deal back in the day. They are gone. Everyone knows I'm a fan of Publix, where shopping is a pleasure. And I love this story. Is this out of Florida, Deborah?
It's out of Florida.
All right. Finally, a good story out of Florida. Apparently, Publix is becoming the #1 place to meet your mate. So much so, they're dubbing Publix now Clublix.
So this is in Wellington, Florida. I don't know if you know where that
idea.
is. No idea. But it is apparently the place to go and meet people. They're calling it Clublix. And I don't know if they have this at your Publix, but they do have them in other grocery stores. They have little bars inside, and you can
I do
actually.
not have mine, no.
Mine does.
Yeah.
You can sit down. You can order some beer or wine. There's a couple of TVs there, so if like a game is on, you'll see people kind of sitting and chatting. And then there's a little couple of tables. So if you want to get like a pastry from the bakery or sandwich, you can do it right there at the grocery store. And this one particular Publix in Wellington is so popular for young people coming to meet there that it's become this thing on social media. And now people are like driving up to 70 miles to go specifically
Wow.
shopping at this Publix.
That doesn't surprise me. Now the Clublix part of it, I don't know, but I remember my OG Publix on Collier Road. I used to go there all the time. Love that place. It's a little Publix, and I would walk in, and I'm a taken fella, so I'm not looking for a meet cute in the frozen food aisle, but there were so many just attractive people there that I would call or text our old buddy Jay Black, who is single. I'd be like, Jay, you've got to go to Publix, man. Like this is shooting fish in a barrel. Like it was insane. Like just if there was a Publix when I was just out of college, there was. I just none near me. I would have been there every day. Publix, where eye candy's a pleasure. And it was.
Did our former coworker ever go?
Yeah.
He did?
Yeah.
Okay.
But I just didn't know if he had, the chutzpah. It takes a lot to. That's the beauty of this wedding ring. Like I've got this wedding ring on. I'm fearless. I'm not trying to hit on women, but I know like I'm not a threat. I'm a married. Like, oh hey, yeah, that's a good looking cantaloupe. No, I never say anything like that. I hate cantaloupe, by the way. But but Publix is I don't know if you have to go to Wellington, Florida to go, but any Publix is, I'm sure, Whole Foods and.
Well, they're saying particularly the ones with little bars inside of them,
Yeah.
which more and more grocery stores
One
have.
of those. I haven't seen one of the little bar ones. Anyway, Club Licks down in Wellington, Florida. Good stuff there. All right, Ashley, did you meet your husband in Publix?
That would be a really good story, but no,
No?
we were 12 years old.
Oh,
So
all right.
I don't even know if Publix was a thing back then.
They were. Hey, Ashley, what's going on the roads?
Watching slow traffic on the east side perimeter for folks traveling on 285 southbound below Highway 78. Construction in 1 to 2 left lanes between Covington Highway and Glenwood Road. That's probably going to stay out there for a little bit. And still some delays traveling south into downtown Atlanta on both 85 and 75. And then sluggish along the connector south passing Georgia Tech. Traffic brought to you by True Natural Gas. True Natural Gas offers low rates, excellent service, and a loyalty program called True Rewards. See for yourself at TrueNaturalGas.com, where they appreciate their customers. I'm Ashley Frasca, 95.5 WSB.
In Atlanta, there is always something happening.
Tanker truck crashed into the median.
The Triple Team Traffic Center has you covered.
No traffic getting through in either direction.
Helping you on your commute.
Avoid the area at all costs. Take Highway 155 or Highway 4223.
Brought to you by the Cool Ray Lifetime Parts and Labor Warranty.
95.5 WSB, Atlanta's News and Talk.
You still want a new deck on your house, but you think you may have missed a deck building window? Well, you're wrong. Dave Baker here for Ben Hill Renovations, my deck experts. What makes them my experts? Well, for starters, when you have Ben Hill Renovations upgrading your outdoor living space, you're dealing with professionals. You have a company building to code, current and future. You have a company pulling permits when needed, with a dedicated project manager for every job, superior craftsmanship from over 60-plus years of experience, and all backed by their workmanship warranty. Whether you want a screened-in porch, an outdoor living area, a multi-story wraparound deck, or just a simple deck with a set of stairs, Ben Hill Renovations has you covered. Plus, they offer multiple financing options, up to 18 months, no interest with affordable monthly payments. Check out their new website at bhrenovations.com and set up an appointment, or visit their showroom and speak with a designer. You won't be disappointed. Ben Hill Renovations, creating raving fans since 1964.
Scratching, scampering, and scurrying noises in your attic? You've got squirrels. Hey, it's Mark Aram here. Better get Breda Pest Management to kick them out before those squirrely scoundrels start running an Airbnb in your attic. Those squirrels not leaving without a fight. They'll keep coming back, chewing new holes over and over again. Under the Breda Wildlife Guarantee, you stay protected and at no additional cost.
Breda, no need to be afraid of bugs.
You know the saying, age before beauty? Well, many Atlanta homes built in the 80s and 90s are really showing their age and not so much beauty. Roofs are leaking, windows are drafty, paint is peeling everywhere, and that front door, well, might as well say Y2K, here we come. So many projects, and that means hiring a bunch of contractors, right? Wrong. Hi, this is Candace from Exovations, and have I got a tip for you. When you bundle several projects with Exovations, you can save time, money, and coordinate everything all at once for a truly stress-free experience. From the roof shingle at the top to the last drop of paint on the bottom, Exovations does it all. Roofing, siding, windows, doors, decks, gutters, and more. And with Exovations, you know we'll do your project on time, on budget, and without all that stress you usually hear about in construction. Schedule your free consultation today at exovations.com and bring your home into this millennium.
That was thousands of miles being added to your private radio network. With Southern Link, connect your private LMR radio system to Critical Link, our mission-critical LTE network, so you can communicate more easily with more people when the situation demands. Call 1-800-818-LINC or visit southernlink.com to learn more about our interworking solutions, mission-critical push-to-talk, and LTE voice and data services. Southern Link, pushing the limits of what's possible.
At CertaPro Painters, we know that a happy place comes in many colors, like ones that inspire a sense of wonder, or a new flavor that makes life just a little bit sweeter, or one to celebrate those moments that lift you to new heights. With thousands of 5-star reviews, you can trust us to bring happiness home. CertaPro Painters. That's painting happy. Each CertaPro Painters business is independently owned and operated. Contractor license and registration information is available at CertaPro.com.
Hey, friends, is your heating and cooling system aging, getting a little long in the tooth? Well, let Reliable protect your AC from breakdowns and your budget from costly, unexpected repairs. Just $19.99 a month. Hey, it's Mark Aaron back with you. Check this out. No deductibles, no hidden cost, no claims paperwork, and no service fees. Just amazing coverage. Reliable's comfort protection plans are the most cost-effective alternative to a traditional home warranty for HVAC systems. Whether you just need annual maintenance, want protection from costly breakdowns, or both, Reliable has a budget-friendly plan for you. Don't get caught off guard if your heating and cooling system is aging out of its usefulness. Visit reliableair.com/protectmyhvac. That's reliableair.com/protectmyhvac, or give them a call, 770-594-9969. That's 770-594-9969.
The following is a paid commercial announcement.
Corporate megastores are spending millions lobbying D.C. politicians on one-sided policies that send small businesses tumbling. They want to enact harmful credit card mandates that take resources away from your local credit union and community bank, leaving Main Street businesses with less access to credit, making it harder for your family to pay for everyday goods like gas and groceries. Tell Congress to guard your card and oppose the Durbin-Marshall credit card mandates.
Paid for by Electronic Payments Coalition.
I lost my way, she said she stayed, and lately I've been sleeping with a girl.
Happy 47th birthday, Usher. Born on this date, October 14th, 1978. Usher's never been on the show.
Really?
I've never met him.
You've never ran into him around town?
But I've run into him.
Okay, I was going to say.
Like, probably a dozen times. Go to the iconic R. Thomas restaurant here. I used to get an hour lunch break between morning drive and midday traffic, and I'd go to R. Thomas for a healthier meal, and I'd see Usher there all the time, just sitting by himself. But I never bothered him. And he never bothered me. I think the celebrity we respected.
He knew who was in great presence.
Yes,
yeah.
He's like, oh, that's the traffic guy.
You didn't try to pay for his meal like you.
No, he's not
Larry
exactly
David.
Larry David territory for me. But Vin, you're in the music biz, aspiring music producer. Have you ever met Usher?
I have never met Usher. No.
All right, we got to make that happen then, Vin.
Yeah, that would be crazy.
Although I'm trying to mute your budding musical producing career, so
we
you
need
stay
to
with
keep
us
Vinny
longer.
here.
Yeah, Down South Vinny is going to be a household name in 40 years now. Someone on the radio or a podcast can be like, "Oh, happy 57th birthday to legendary music producer Down South Vinny."
Wow.
Vince, when you win a Grammy, will you at least thank us?
What? Of course.
And then someone's going to call and be like, "Oh, I used to go to the same barber as Vinny, and he didn't tip the barber."
Yeah.
Got to be. You're soon to be famous, Vinny. So start building
all that kind of stuff
your
about
reputation now. Yeah. All right, Down South Vinny. It's going to be a bittersweet day when he leaves us to go win a Grammy or two. All right, news, weather, and traffic in 3. When we come back, got the latest from the White House on the Israel-Hamas peace deal. Government shutdown continues. We'll get the latest there, plus our top local stories. So much more to cover. A very busy, action-packed edition of the Mark Arum Show. Social media is up and at him, at Mark Arum, MarkArum.
I'm here with Chris Hoffman, the founder of Hoffman Financial Group and host of Money Unleashed. Chris, with all the things we're reading, seeing, and living through these days, from rate cuts, election season, and now a new administration, now seems like a great time to make sure we have that comprehensive plan in place. You know, the one that covers all our financial bases.
There are occasions throughout the year where I feel like it's critical for people to engage their financial lives and get the information that they deserve from a financial advisory team. And this is one of those times, to be quite frank. So we ask that you call us if you have a minimum of $500,000 in your full portfolio. But we're going to do away with that minimum so that those folks can have an equal opportunity to understand what's in their portfolio as well. Now, you have to have some money, right? I can't help you to build your wealth at work, right? But I sure can help, I believe, with your 401k, IRA management. There's probably 2 or 3 things that'll surprise you that you may want to take action on. So the next 10 people that call in will work up either a portfolio x-ray, or if you feel like you need a full retirement plan, go to unleashyourmoney.com, click on portfolio x-ray, or click on full retirement plan. we think you'll be impressed enough, and we want you to become a client. There's no question about it. We believe that we are a very competent fiduciary advisory team, and we want to offer that to our listeners. Let Hoffman Financial Group actually show you how we perform, and I believe we perform at the pinnacle of this industry.
Call the Hoffman Financial Group at 404-737-3858, 404-737-3858, or online at unleashyourmoney.com. Investment advisory services offered through Brookstone Wealth Advisors, a registered investment advisor. Insurance and annuities offered through Hoffman Financial Group Incorporated, Georgia Insurance License number 163546.
Hurricane season is here, friends, and now's the time to make sure your roof is ready for whatever comes next. Hey, it's Mark Aaron back with you. At Dr. Roof, they're experts at hurricane proofing your home. From inspecting shingles to reinforcing your roof structure, they make sure your home is secure before the storm hits. Don't wait until it's too late. Get a free, no-obligation roof inspection from Dr. Roof today. Get ready before the hurricane season goes into overdrive. Call Dr. Roof today.
Want to save 1,000 bones on your next roof? Dave Baker here for Findlay Roofing, the roof guys. Right now, save $1,000 on your roof replacement. Hurry, this treat ends on Halloween. FindlayRoofing.com.
Live from the Superior Plumbing Studios.
News,
weather,
traffic. 95.5 WSB.
Atlanta's News and Talk.
Hi there. Good morning. It is 10:30. I'm Sabrina Cupid. This news sponsored by your Metro Atlanta AMCO dealers. Happening right now, early voting is underway across Georgia for municipal elections and 2 state public service commission seats.
The District 2 and 3 seats on the State Public Service Commission are the only statewide races on ballots this fall. Those 2 races are years behind schedule due to a legal challenge over the districts and whether candidates have to live inside those districts. The commission's responsible for regulating and setting rates for utilities, including natural gas and electricity. Various local elections are also underway, including city council and mayoral races across Metro Atlanta. Election Day is November 4th. Austin Eller, 95.5 WSB.
Your weather for today. It's going to be sunny and warm for this time of the year, about 5 to 10 degrees above average. Highs this afternoon, 83, says WSB meteorologist Christina Edwards. She'll have Atlanta's most accurate and dependable forecast coming up in just over 2 minutes. An escaped Carroll County inmate has been recaptured. David Emsley Wheels walked off a prison work detail. A manhunt started shortly after it was discovered that he was missing.
We concentrated our efforts in the area that we knew he was last seen in, which was in the area of Highway 113, I-20, Temple area corridor.
Now, Carroll County Sheriff's Department spokesperson Ashley Halsey says Wheels was found early this morning and taken into custody without further incident. In addition to charges for which he is already serving time, he will now face an additional count of felony escape. All right, if you're planning to buy a new car soon, get ready for sticker shock.
Kelley Blue Book says the average price of a new car in the U.S. topped $50,000 for the first time last month. Prices are up 25% from 5 years ago as Americans snap up pricey trucks and SUVs. The most recent surge is also being driven by luxury and expensive electric vehicles. Meanwhile, Edmunds says new car buyers are now stretching the length of their loans to 7 years or more. The average car payment stood at $754 in the third quarter. I'm Bloomberg's Gina Cervetti for 95.5 WSB.
New tariffs are going into effect today on lumber, furniture, and other wood products that potentially is going to be adding to the cost of home prices and renovation projects. Business correspondent Rebecca Jarvis has a look at what's going to happen to what you pay when it comes to furniture.
If you've been trying to buy furniture for your home, you've already seen those prices going up. The cost of furniture up 4.7% from a year ago. Living and dining room furniture up 9.5%.
And while we're talking about your money, small businesses are not feeling very confident. Optimism among small business owners decreasing in September. This was the first decline in 3 months. Supply chain and inflation issues stood out as the key reasons. 32% of small business owners say that they have job openings that they could not fill last month. The National Federation of Independent Business monthly jobs report finds 88% of those companies found few or no qualified candidates for positions that they had available. All right, let's take a look at the markets. We're in the red. The Dow down 147 at 45,920. NASDAQ is down more than a full percent, and the S&P's down more than 0.5%. It's time now for live team coverage of traffic and weather. Ashley Frasca's in the WSB 24-hour traffic center. Good morning.
Good morning. Delays associated with construction around town. Right now, crews are setting up in Ackworth, 75 northbound in the right lane around Highway 92, so you may experience delays getting up to Bartow County. The big grind is on the east side, 285 south coming down from East Ponce and Church Street. Construction in a couple of left lanes below Covington Highway, and now they're setting up in the left lanes the other direction, 285 north around Glenwood Road. I'm Ashley Frasca, 95.5 WSB.
This is WSB meteorologist Christina Upwards. Mostly sunny and warming up today, high 83, lows tonight in the mid-50s. Tomorrow, sunshine, high 84. Breezy at times on Thursday with sunny skies, high 81.
71 degrees right now in Forest Park. It's 69 in Dallas. Alpharetta, you have 71 degrees. We'll have more news at 11 o'clock. Breaking news when it happens. I'm Sabrina Cupid, 95.5 WSB.
When news breaks.
Even though the first phase of the peace agreement has been accomplished, there's still much to do.
We've got it covered.
An orderly Israeli withdrawal from Gaza must still be worked out.
Tune in often for the latest.
We're used to being sad and even, hopeless. Now it's a day full of hope.
95.5 WSB.
Atlanta's breaking news station.
Sights of reunion yesterday were most definitely the happiest moments I've experienced in my life.
That's the brother-in-law of a released hostage, Omri Moran. Coming up next, we go to the White House. The latest on the big peace deal. 2 minutes away on the Mark Arum Show.
When you come home after being away, you see your home with fresh eyes. And eventually, you'll roll up to your old garage door and finally notice how chipped and faded that rusty old slab really is. But that's the first thing people see when they come visit. A 250-square-foot bent aluminum lime green garage door that also squeaks. Welcome to our home. At Mo Better Garage, we make that way mo better. Our design consultants can help you find a strong, quiet, modern garage door that anyone would be proud to come home to. Modern materials that won't crack, dent, or fade. In contemporary styles that showcase your home's design. Call Mo Better Garage and let us show you just how joyful arriving back home can be.
Mo Better Garage, we make it way more better.
MoBetterGarage.com.
Attention men, are you suffering from ED or PE? Here's an important message from Choice Men's Health.
I'm Dr. Katz and I'm the Chief Medical Director at Choice Men's Health. Are you performing the way you want to in the bedroom? If the answer is no and you've tried Viagra, Cialis, and Levitra and were disappointed, then you need to come see us immediately. If you don't see results on the first visit, then there's no charge. Many of our patients have medical conditions such as diabetes, hypertension, obesity, and prostate problems. I'm happy to say that we have 98% success rate with all our patients. Our customized solutions will allow you to perform within 10 minutes and last an hour and even longer. You can regain your love life and tackle your ED and PE problems. Guys, your partner will never complain again. Our clinic has the most affordable prices, so if you visit other clinics and you're not completely satisfied, then you need to call Choice Men's Health.
Regain your love life regardless of your age or medical history. Choice Men's Health guarantees results on your first visit or you pay nothing. Call now, 404-400-1170. That's 404-400-1170.
If you have a leaning brick porch, an uneven concrete driveway, a pool deck covered in cracks, or an uneven sidewalk you could trip over, you should get AquaGuard to come out and help you. Schedule a free visit today at aquaguard.net. Remember,
AquaGuard.
You got a job to do, you do it, just like fighting a war. Sound barrier was just another program. I was working on 10 test programs when I was flying the X-1.
$100 if you can name that American legend right there, Longoria. Don't even bother to guess. That was Chuck Yeager.
Oh, yeah. I wasn't
78 years ago today, Chuck Yeager, Air Force test pilot, broke the sound barrier as he flew the experimental Bell XS-1 rocket plane over Muroc Dry Lake in California. Years later, Yeager just said he was just doing his duty. I didn't know he had such a distinct accent.
You got a job to do, you do it, just like fighting a war. Sound barrier was just another program. I was working on 10
like
test
half the
programs
traffic
when I was
troopers
flying
they
the
used to call the traffic center right
I was
there.
going to say, sounds like you'd be one of my neighbors.
Yeah, exactly. Chuck Yeager, American legend. 78 years ago today on WSB Radio, he broke the sound barrier. Coming up in 1 hour, Deborah's got tickets to give away to see Heart at Gas South Arena. Meantime, though, I want to continue our team coverage of the historic day yesterday. We were all over it. The peace deal between Israel and Hamas, the release of the 20 hostages. President Trump on board Air Force One returning to D.C., asked about the future of Gaza.
I'm not talking about single state or double state or two state. We're talking about the rebuilding of Gaza.
Yeah, wouldn't confirm whether he wants a single state or two state solution there with Gaza and the Palestinians. Let's go up to the White House. Elena Treen on what the administration thinks moving forward with the future of Gaza.
I mean, look, in my conversations with people at the White House, they essentially are saying they recognize that they don't want to have this conversation right now, despite the success of this, despite the celebrations we saw, of course, yesterday with the hostages returning home, with the Palestinian prisoners being released. This is still very much a fragile plan, and there's a lot of disagreement about what the future of the region will look like. Specifically, of course, a very controversial question that has gone back years and years that many people have been divided over, which is should Palestine be recognized as its own state? Should they have statehood? And it's where you saw a lot of leaders yesterday, and this is what I found pretty remarkable at some of the scenes from that summit in Egypt yesterday, was many of the leaders who were standing behind President Donald Trump, many of those who were sitting next to him and signing that deal, they are pushing for the recognition of a Palestinian state. Of course, you have people like Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu and others in Israel who say that is a non-starter for them. So we're kind of seeing the president push this off further. He's been saying that for some time now. I'd remind you that last week he kind of reiterated that, saying, you know, I will support whichever path my team decides. And so they're kind of looking at that as an option for the future. But I do think, big picture here, of course, we saw the celebrations yesterday. I think there's no question that what the Trump administration has achieved with this ceasefire deal is very remarkable. But there's still so much work to be done and so much opportunity that could potentially upend this. The president said yesterday that he believes we are already in phase 2 of this 20-point ceasefire plan. That's including, you know, the trying to disarm Hamas, trying to figure out the long-term governance of Gaza, all issues that are very, very difficult. And so there's a long road ahead still to make sure that this lasts and that the security guarantees of this continue. All of that's still up for negotiation in the weeks ahead.
Elena Treen at the White House this morning. I think the word that stood out to me there, Deborah, is the word fragile, right? The 20-point plan, the now famous 20-point plan. Phase 1 went better than could ever have been expected. I was dubious that Hamas would release all the living prisoners. They did. The hostages, they did. Peace deal signed. I mean, you could not have asked for a better execution of phase 1. But it's fragile moving forward. And that question of Palestinian statehood obviously is a big one that will be answered. I don't think it'll be answered anytime soon. I think there's going to be a need for a plan to rebuild Gaza. And we talked earlier about Saudi Arabia maybe fronting a lot of the bill, because it's going to take billions and billions of dollars to rebuild the Gaza Strip. But fragile, I think, is the key word. Again, I'm enthusiastic of phase 1. I am cautiously optimistic for the rest of the deal, but let's celebrate phase 1 before we get into the fragility of phases 2 through 20. Nada Bashir was in Jerusalem this morning for CNN on the heels of that summit yesterday, which is over, by the way. The summit ended with all the leaders getting back to their homelands.
Well, look, we had a lot of big talk, a lot of significant commitments being made yesterday at the Sharm el-Sheikh summit, particularly from the U.S. president around this 20-point peace plan. We've heard from President Trump saying in his words that we are already into phase 2 of that plan. He says in his words that the war is over, despite the trepidation that there is held amongst some that there could be a return to hostilities if the ceasefire breaks down and if there are any violations. But of course, we saw that significant first step, the release of all living hostages and now 4 deceased hostages. We've seen the return of hundreds of Palestinian prisoners as part of the deal. But there is still a lot of questions around what those next steps look like, around the details, questions around demilitarizing Hamas. That has been a key point for the Israeli government from the beginning of negotiations, what that looks like, how that will be finally achieved and guaranteed. And of course, we've heard indications from the Israeli Prime Minister that if this isn't achieved, in his words, the easy way, Israel will look to the hard way, as said by the Israeli Prime Minister just a few days ago. And then, of course, there's the question of internal security and governance, a peacekeeping force in the Gaza Strip. Again, no clarity around that. We've heard from the French President Emmanuel Macron saying that France will play a special role in that part. But again, we are still waiting for more clarity. And then, as you mentioned, of course, questions around the steps towards Palestinian statehood. Is this something that the US president is committed to? It certainly is something that Arab leaders want to see. But again, no real firm commitments on that front.
Reporter Nada Bashir in Jerusalem this morning. Obviously a massive story. Any updates on that, we'll provide them throughout the day here on 95.5 WSB. Another massive story, day 14 of the government shutdown. Joining us on the Mark Arum Show, correspondent Rory O'Neill. Not only are we dealing with, furloughed workers, Rory, in this now 2-week-long government shutdown, but we're looking at a historic wave of retirements, putting a huge strain on the government as well. What can you tell us?
Yeah, well, you'll have to go back to earlier this year, Elon Musk and Doge. It was those Doge cuts. Do you remember when Elon Musk was saying, hey, you tenured workers, the people who've been here for decades, you're the expensive ones. If you want to retire, you can step down right now. You can take the summer off, and then we'll make your retirement effective at the end of the fiscal year. Well, the fiscal year ended September 30th. The new year began October 1st. That's when the shutdown started as well. But it also did trigger a flood of people saying, you know what, I'm out of here. So right now, about 155,000 federal workers are in the process or have retired. And they either accepted a buyout offer or were just stepping down anyway. So this one office in the government, the Office of Personnel Management, has to deal with 154,000 retirement applications, getting their pensions put together and all that information. So this office is a little bit behind with a lot of paperwork.
Well, I would imagine, too, that is that office still open right now during this government shutdown?
Actually, it is considered essential.
Okay.
So they are functioning. But, but for them to operate, it's, if you need to call someone, they may be out. And, it just obviously mucks up the work a little bit as they are trying to do their job and get this information out there to people who are trying to wrap up or wind down their careers or shift into something else.
Interesting. Correspondent Rory O'Neill joining us on the Mark Arum Show. One of my Facebook friends down in St. Petersburg, Florida, posted a picture on Facebook yesterday of something. Actually, it was a video of something scorching through the sky going, hey, does anyone know what this is? And apparently that was the SpaceX Starship, right?
It was, we believe. A little tough to tell. Was he looking east or west? Well, interestingly, so SpaceX did a test flight of Starship from Texas, the biggest rocket on the planet. So it was test flight number 11. It went really well. But about an hour after that flight, they launched their typical routine satellite launch from Florida's coast. So if he was looking toward the east, he would have seen a Florida launch. If he was looking toward the west, he would have seen the Texas launch. That's how busy things are. And by the way, Elon Musk has this ultimate vision of having those big rockets like that one launching about once every hour when we're really into the high times.
That's great. I mean, the video was spectacular. I think it was heading west to east, so that would have been the Starship, I believe, right?
Right. Yeah, and I'd suspect the same. Plus, it's so much bigger than the Falcon 9 that also launched last night. So, pretty remarkable test. The most successful that they've had so far. Earlier this year, 3 of those Starships essentially blew up on the flight, or unscheduled disassembly, whatever they call it, unscheduled rapid disassembly, they call it. But this mission and the one before it both went very well. This one even better than the last. This was the last flight of version 2 of Starship. They're going to start version 3, launching it from a different launch pad in Texas next year. Still hoping that we'll have another successful year of tests, perhaps getting to those missions to the moon and ultimately to Mars in the next decade.
It's a brave new world. Rory will be there. Rory O'Neill, as always, appreciate your time, my friend.
From your lips. All right, thanks, Mark.
See you, buddy. One more space-related story. We go to our neighbors to the north, Deborah. Canada wants to put what on the moon?
The Canadian Space Agency has been awarded $1 million to the Canadian Space Mining Corporation to create low-enriched uranium nuclear reactor for moon operations. Everybody's trying to put this nuclear reactor on the moon, and now Canada wants to get in. NASA said they're going to try to do it by 2030. China and Russia wants to do a reactor too, and Canada doesn't want to be left behind.
I mentioned YouTube earlier, and sometimes I'll go down a YouTube rabbit hole, and I went down one. I don't know if you've seen this, Longoria. You are probably the most conspiratorial.
I probably have.
The theory, Deborah, or the hypothesis is that the moon isn't a natural occurring celestial object.
It's not a satellite?
That it was placed there by someone
God placed it there.
or something. You've heard this, Vin?
Yeah.
Yeah. So the moon is the perfect distance between us and the Earth to, not mess up the tides, and it's also perfectly aligned that it is the same size as the sun from where we're looking. Right? It's so we get the eclipse, like the perfect full eclipse. Anyway, go to you. No, I'm not even going to suggest you do that. But I went down this rabbit hole, and I'm like, maybe the moon isn't natural occurring. Maybe, and that it could be hollow.
Yeah, I've seen that.
Anyway, don't let your kids watch those videos. There are true educational videos on YouTube that the kids can learn from. But really interesting. All right, so Canada wants to everyone wants to get off the Earth, man. It's freaking me out.
Elon, I see another fake moon landing.
Yeah, Elon wants us to go to Mars.
They're all in denim.
Yeah.
Canada wants to put a nuclear reactor. Maybe they can put a Club Publix on the moon, so all the lunar singles can mix and mingle. Anyway, we got some trouble on 285, construction on 285. I don't know, but there are delays on 285, Ashley Frasco.
Not bad enough to want to go to the moon, certainly, but there are delays. Yeah, road work is what's causing it. 285 north and southbound. The crews have barrels set up in the left lane in both directions at Glenwood Road. So coming northbound, you're slow up from Flat Shoals. Southbound, the delays begin down from Memorial Drive. And at times, they were holding all lanes to do a little bit of work. 285 south below Hollowell Parkway, though that is moving a lot better. And construction in Ackworth, right lane taken out, 75 north at Highway 92. I'm Ashley Frasca, 95.5 WSB.
Everyone has an opinion.
I've had some great Mondays. I'm having a good Monday right now. Look, it's beautiful outside.
Got that nice loud shirt.
Eric Von Hessler has an opinion.
It's a citrusy, summery, I think breezy kind of shirt.
And some advice.
But just remember this.
Eric Von Hessler, today at 3.
I never have and never will smoke a cigar.
95.5 WSB, Atlanta's News and Talk.
Atlanta DIY landlords, listen up. If you're exhausted from managing your rental properties all by yourself, my friends at Renters Warehouse Atlanta offering a 90-day test drive. Hire Renters Warehouse to manage your rental property for a low flat monthly fee as low as $115. If you're not satisfied at any time in the first 3 months, you can fire them. Get your management fees back. What do you get for that low flat monthly fee? A dedicated property management team, maintenance coordination, move in and move out property condition reports, advanced tenant screening with a 9-month tenant warranty, professional photography and videography, lease renewal processing and negotiations, online rent collection, monthly owner cash flow statements, and more. Renters Warehouse, so confident you'll love their service, they want an addition for your business. Choice is yours. Keep DIYing or see how Renters Warehouse can make your life easier. Start your 90-day test drive today. Go to rwatlanta.com or call 404-662-2322, 404-662-2322.
You know the saying, age before beauty? Well, many Atlanta homes built in the 80s and 90s are really showing their age and not so much beauty. Roofs are leaking, windows are drafty, paint is peeling everywhere, and that front door, well, might as well say Y2K, here we come. So many projects, and that means hiring a bunch of contractors, right? Wrong. Hi, this is Candace from Exovations, and have I got a tip for you. When you bundle several projects with Exovations, you can save time, money, and coordinate everything all at once for a truly stress-free experience. From the roof shingle at the top to the last drop of paint on the bottom, Exovations does it all. Roofing, siding, windows, doors, decks, gutters, and more. And with Exovations, you know we'll do your project on time, on budget, and without all that stress you usually hear about in construction. Schedule your free consultation today at exovations.com and bring your home into this millennium.
This is Jonathan Geller at D. Geller & Son Jewelers. Our fall bridal event is back. Whether you're shopping for an engagement, wedding, or celebrating an anniversary or milestone, D. Geller & Son's fall bridal event is the only place you'll have this many choices and get this much value. Up to $3,000 off when you make an appointment, or 36 months 0% APR financing. So come join us October 24th through 26th in Kennesaw and Sandy Springs. Make an appointment at dgeller.com.
Affordable jewelry for everyone is at D. Geller & Son.
Men, trouble in the bedroom? Not anymore. Priority Men's Medical Center restores your love life in just one visit. Their painless breakthrough treatments eliminate ED and PE. Here's a specialist in men's health.
I'm Dr. Simovitz. Have Viagra or Cialis let you down? Priority Men's Medical Center offers the most effective treatments that eliminate ED and PE, with men lasting longer than ever. 98% of patients see instant results on their first visit.
Priority Men's Medical Center's breakthrough treatments eliminate ED and PE, regardless of age or medical history. Your consultation and first treatment are free. You'll see instant results in the office. Plus, qualified patients get their testosterone checked free. Call 404-885-8885. 404-885-8885. To restore your love life in just one visit, call now. 404-885-8885.
October is here, and this is a perfect month for home comfort. Dave Baker for Coolray Heating and Cooling. See, in October, it'll still get plenty warm during the day, but it will get cool at night. So with the purchase of a complete Carrier system, Coolray's offering up to $2,250 back in rebates and free installation. That's heat, cool, and free installation. Get a jump start on keeping your home comfortable. Book your appointment online today at Coolray.com. Coolray and Carrier. Turn to the experts.
Paid for by Christian Care Ministry.
Hey, I am Brant, and her name is Sherry, and she's a friend and a colleague of mine, and we were just praying for her, actually, because she had a major surgery she just went through.
Yes, and I am very happy about something you actually talk about all the time, which is Medi-Share. That's
of
right,
course.
yeah.
So what was your experience like with Medi-Share and your healthcare bills?
You know what? It was seamless. And that's such a blessing when you're already nervous about a health issue, which I was.
Yeah.
Members shared my expenses. There were zero problems. And let me tell you, having people pray with you when you call in and it's just what you need, it's so refreshing.
Yeah, that's what I keep telling people. People love Medi-Share and saving tons of money. The typical family, I'm fond of saying, could save $500 a month.
I am so thankful for Medi-Share. It's so different, and I mean different in a very, very good way, Brant.
It is a good different. Call right now. They're so easy to talk to. You can get a price within 2 minutes. Here is the number, 855-51-BIBLE. That's 855-51-BIBLE. 855-51-BIBLE.
We are not a terrorist organization. We are a liberation movement, and we do not seek international discord. We seek peace.
That's PLO delegate Nabil Shaith. 31 years ago today, Nobel Peace Prize went to the three men most responsible for a breakthrough Middle East peace agreement. Ironic, right? On the heels of yesterday's peace agreement, Yitzhak Rabin and Shimon Peres of Israel, along with Palestinian Liberation Organization leader Yasser Arafat, shared the prize. 31 years ago today, as you heard on WSB Radio. Yesterday on WSB Radio, we talked about that horrific bomb plant explosion in Tennessee. Deborah, do we have an update on that story?
We have a little bit of an update. So yesterday we talked about how 18 people still needed to be identified. Well, now they've identified 16 and they've released their names, but they still need to find 2 more. And it's still under investigation of what exactly happened at the explosion to cause it.
And what's the death toll again? It was 8.
They said 18 and they've identified 16.
Yeah, that's phenomenally bad. On a lighter story, we got another company that's changing their brand. They're not going full Cracker Barrel, but it's Lay's potato chips, right? That's the ubiquitous name in potato. You go to potato chips, you get Lay's. Apparently, Lay's customers didn't know that Lay's was made with real potatoes.
Yeah, I could see that.
You didn't think Lay's potato chips?
I thought it was.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
But apparently, like 60% of consumers think that Lay's potato chips, I guess because they're so perfectly cut and fried, that they're not made with real potatoes.
Well, yeah, and everything on that aisle, too, is kind of like manufactured junk food. So, 2025 is a year of rebranding. You had Cracker Barrel, then Domino's, now Lay's. So, again, that's their big thing. They want people to know they're made from real potatoes. So, that's big, bold letters on the bag. They've kind of updated the bag a little bit. It's supposed to look like a warmer sun.
Okay.
I didn't know it was a sun on the last one. And they're getting rid of some of the oils that they've used. You know, you've heard like some
trans fatty
yeah,
acids,
all of that.
all
So they're
that.
kind of switching oils to make it a little bit better. So they're not doing a full Cracker Barrel, but they're just kind of giving it an update.
Now, Pringles could, if you look at a can of Pringles, I'd be like, that's not, I don't know
those
what.
are not, that's not even a potato.
Yeah. I mean, I'll eat Pringles. I'll eat them. But you look at that and you're like, that can't be.
All them different flavors. Heck no.
But I can't believe so many people didn't think Lay's were made of actually real potatoes.
Well, apparently they put a big picture of a real potato on the bag too, so you can see.
All right. By the way, I'm worried someone is going to pull me saying trans fatty. and report me to HR. That's a. I was talking about the oils, trans fatty oils. Not. I wasn't calling anyone trans fatty. Just covering my bases there. All right, news, weather, and traffic in 2. When we come back, government shutdown day 14, peace deal, some big stories to get you caught up to date on next on the Mark Arum Show.
WSB Atlanta, WSBB FM, and HD1 Doraville. 95.5 WSB, Atlanta's news and talk.
If you're hearing scratching, scampering, scurrying noises in your attic, you, my friends, have squirrels. It's Mark Arum here. Getting squirrels out of your home is challenging, and you certainly need an experienced pro to do the job right. Better get Breda to kick them out before those squirrely scoundrels start running an Airbnb in your attic for all the critters in your neighborhood. And those squirrels are not leaving without a fight. Trust me, they'll chew their way back in over and over again. You need the Breda Wildlife Guarantee to cover every entry point, old and new. The other guys only guarantee the entry point they seal, so each time that squirrel chews a new hole, it'll cost you hundreds of dollars more. The squirrels, trust me, will keep coming back, and so will Breda. Under the Breda Wildlife Guarantee, you stay protected and at no additional cost. Breda Pest Management, they handle bugs and critters like squirrels. BREDAPest.com.
Breda, no need to be afraid of bugs.
As you go through your end-of-season to-dos, add Call Castile Cooling and Heating to the checklist. You wouldn't send your kids to school unprepared, so don't send your air conditioner into hibernation without a checkup from our specialists. If you've noticed your system struggling, weird sounds, smells, or changes in airflow, let's fix it now. Right now, install a new HVAC system and get up to $2,000 in free upgrades and 0% interest financing. Book today, and help is on the way. CastileAir.com.
The Findlay Roofing Chief Barking Officer, Rufus, has the zoomies. He's rolling over about saving you $1,000 off your roof replacement. That's a lot of bones. Hey, it's Dave Baker for Findlay Roofing, the roof guys. Stop repairing the leaks and dragging your feet. For a limited time, save $1,000 on your roof replacement. Hurry, this treat ends on Halloween. Schedule your free roof analysis at FindlayRoofing.com.
News, weather,
traffic. 95.5 WSB, Atlanta's news and talk.
It's 11 o'clock. Good morning. I'm Sabrina Cupid. This news sponsored by the Next Generation Xfinity 10G network. Trade tensions forcing the markets down this morning, but the International Monetary Fund projects that the U.S. and global economies will actually grow more than expected this year. Michael Wallace has details.
The IMF says the economy will grow by 2% this year, up from its 1.9% forecast in July, and the global economy will grow 3.2%. The IMF says Trump's tariffs have caused less disruption than expected, but the full impact of them is still emerging. IMF chief economist Pierre-Olivier Gorinchat also warned of another possible tech bubble, like the dot-com bubble of the late 1990s.
It was the internet then, it is AI now.
He says tighter monetary policy will be needed to contain price pressures in the tech sector.
All right, let's take a look at the markets. The Dow right now is down slightly. NASDAQ is down more than a full percent. The S&P is in the red, down 0.5% here in the 11 o'clock hour. All right, so your weather for today. It's going to be beautiful, sunny, afternoon highs around 83, says WSB meteorologist Christina Edwards. We have an update on that awful crash we told you about last night on I-85 in Jackson County that backed up traffic for miles and then shut down the interstate for hours. It involved 6 vehicles. 7 people died in that accident. According to the Georgia State Patrol, a tractor trailer was following too closely behind a Dodge van, and that's what caused that chain reaction crash. The Dodge van burst into flames. All 7 people inside were killed. No names have been released just yet. This just in.
Data centers provide no benefit to a community. They gobble up electricity.
The DeKalb County Commission has just now voted to extend its moratorium on data centers until December 16th. The commission first put that pause in place over the summer. The move this morning means new data centers and data center expansions for those already approved will remain on hold for now. Early voting getting underway today for 2 seats on the Georgia Public Service Commission, along with municipal races.
The Georgia Public Service Commission races are the only statewide elections this fall. The commission's responsible for setting rates for utilities, including electricity and natural gas. Incumbent Republican Tim Echols will face Democrat Alicia Johnson in District 2, while District 3 Republican Commissioner Fitz Johnson will face Democrat Peter Hubbard. The elections have long been delayed over legal challenges. Early voting is also open now for local elections elections in cities across metro Atlanta. Austin Eller, 95.5 WSB.
The FDA giving the green light to another blood test to help assess Alzheimer's disease and other causes of cognitive decline. This new blood test from Eli Lilly would be used by primary care physicians to help identify patients who are unlikely to have Alzheimer's disease, while those with a positive result would be recommended for further testing. This test is intended for those 55 and older who are showing signs or symptoms of cognitive decline. It's time now for live team coverage of traffic and weather. Alex Williams in the WSB 24-hour traffic center. Good morning.
Hey, good morning, Sabrina. Right now, we found new trouble in Marietta. It's a crash that looks to be off to the right, but they left plenty of debris in the roadway. The center lanes are what's affected here. 75 northbound, Highway 5, exit 267, Canton Road connector. Already seeing delays there back toward Delk Road. Double left lane road work in DeKalb County, 285 both north and southbound at Glenwood Road, exit 44, slowing the ride in both directions there as you try to make your way into and out of Clarkston. Alex Williams, 95.5 WSB.
I'm WSB meteorologist Christina Edwards. Sunny skies today, high 83, lows tonight in the mid-50s. Tomorrow, mostly sunny, high 84. Sunny skies on Thursday and a little on the breezy side, high 81.
72 degrees in Sandy Springs. It's 70 in Beaufort. Peachtree City has 73 degrees. We'll have more news at 11:30. Breaking news when it happens. I'm Sabrina Cupid, 95.5 WSB.
I run this town to be near you.
11:04 on this increasingly beautiful Newsday Tuesday. Welcome back, friends. Mark Aram and crew with you till noon. Mwah, mwah, mwah. Smooches to WSB meteorologist Christina Edwards. This is, what do they call it? Chamber of Commerce weather here, Deborah. Chamber of Commerce weather. Enjoy this beautiful day, friends. Coming up in 30 minutes, the aforementioned Deborah is going to give away a pair of tickets to see Heart at Gas South Arena. Got a couple of big stories: the government shutdown, the Israel-Hamas peace deal. I want to talk about a local story. We had the Nobel Peace Prize awarded last week, 61 years ago today.
The dignity, the discipline, the wise restraint, as well as the courage with which Negroes and their allies in the white community have carried on in this whole struggle.
That was Martin Luther King Jr. 61 years ago today when he won the Nobel Peace Prize. He said the prize was assigned the civil rights movement. Nonviolent acts, tactics were correct. Sad story related to the King Center here in Metro Atlanta. By the way, have we all been to the King Center?
Yeah, we've been there. Absolutely, yeah.
Longoria.
I believe so. Didn't we do a remote?
We did a remote there,
yeah.
One of my favorite attractions in Atlanta. Vinny, I'm assuming growing up in Atlanta, that was, at least in elementary school, that was an annual field trip, right, to the King Center, Ebenezer Church.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So you've been there.
I've been.
All right, good. By the Ebenezer Church, one of the greatest moments. I'm not going to bore you with the story, but one of the greatest moments of my life was at the Ebenezer Baptist Church. I mean, talk about a life-changing event. Anyway, King Center, historic. We've done shows there. This is just horrible. So if you've never been to the King Center in the Sweet Auburn neighborhood, there's this beautiful reflective pool. I don't know what they call it.
It's called the reflecting pool.
Oh, okay, the reflecting pool.
Yeah.
Okay. And then there's the Eternal Flame. You might be familiar with the Eternal Flame at Arlington National Cemetery, the Kennedy grave, which I visited, another great historical landmark. But we have this Eternal Flame at the King Center near the reflective pool. If you've never been, I suggest you go and just, you don't even have to go in the King Center. Just check out the beautiful, tranquil space there in Atlanta, in the whole King National Park. It's just remarkable. And then someone, Deborah, I guess the other day, vandalized the King Center, specifically the King Eternal Flame.
Yeah, so over the weekend, police responded to reports at the King Center, and it was like 4 a.m. on a Saturday, and they got there to find a man basically stomping and destroying the Eternal Flame. And he caused a lot of damage. Now, I've only seen one photo. I haven't seen how they've repaired anything yet, but they identified them as a 26-year-old man, goes by Brent Jones. He was taken into custody, charged with second-degree criminal trespass, public indecency, because he also decided to relieve himself in the reflecting pool.
Oh, my
God. So he's been arrested. He's being held in Fulton County Jail.
1 or 2, do we know? Does it say?
It just says relieving self.
All right.
Either way.
Yeah. That's, desecration of a national landmark. What are the charges he faces, Deborah? I'm sorry.
All right. So charges are property damage to property in the second degree, criminal trespass, public indecency, and obstruction of law.
police have any idea on motive? Was this, hatred toward King, or was it just a drunk 26-year-old?
It doesn't even say like he was drunk or on drugs. It just identified as 26-year-old. It doesn't really give more information
Yeah.
other than he was there vandalizing the place.
Police right now not providing a motive to the incident. The flame apparently is back up and burning. But there was some damage. We reached out to the King Center to get someone on to comment on it. Obviously, we have a close relationship with the King Center here in the Mark Arum Show. When we hear back from them, we'll bring them on the air. But I mean, there should be, because it's a national landmark, right? Like Ebenezer's a national landmark. The King Center's there should be increased charges for vandalism for a national, I would think, right? It's
Sure, like there was graffiti at the Lincoln Memorial a couple years ago.
Yes.
Remember it? They didn't face charges.
I
for
don't
that?
know. There should be increased speeding fines in a school zone. Shouldn't there be increased desecration charges? I mean, urinating, I'm assuming, on the eternal flame and causing damage, like physical damage to that, you shouldn't be charged the same as if you graffiti tag the back of a Pizza Hut. Right? I would think there should be elevated charges for that. Anyway, horrible story there. If we do hear back from the King Center, we'll get them on. All right, let's continue our team coverage now. Karen Travers at the White House correspondent from ABC, as we continue our team coverage of the historic deal reached yesterday. Karen, we provided complete coverage of President Trump's hour-plus long speech to the Israeli Knesset. Then he went to Egypt for the Gaza summit. Any big headlines that came out of that Gaza summit or movement forward on the plan?
Well, the president said yesterday that phase 2 negotiations have been begun, but he didn't get into details about what these next steps will look like. And this is important because phase 2 is going to be complicated. It's going to be time consuming. It's not going to be an overnight process. The initial phase was getting the hostages released, getting a ceasefire, getting aid into Gaza. And that's happening right now. But phase 2 will involve big questions about governing structure in Gaza. How do you rebuild Gaza, the actual rebuilding there, and disarming Hamas? And that's, of course, important and an immediate thing that has to happen, and the security guarantees there. And there were not a lot of answers about that yesterday, despite the president saying that the negotiations are underway. But what you could tell, though, is that, by his meeting in Egypt, he was trying to get buy-in from all of those countries that were there, whether it was Arab countries, European countries that have all played a part in the process so far, to say, look, you're all here for the celebration now. The hostages are back home with their families. The fighting has been paused, but now the next stuff is difficult. And so I think it was notable that you kept hearing him talk about how wealthy some of those Gulf state countries are. And I think he's putting the lean on them to play a big role in the reconstruction.
Yeah, that's something I've been saying for a long time. Whatever post-Gaza looks like, it will have to be those rich Arab nations that obviously chip in and help the rebuild process. Did you get to listen to or watch the hour-plus speech that President Trump gave to the Knesset? And if so, what were your big takeaways from that?
Oh, absolutely. I was live for it. And I think a couple things. I think the emphasis on the regional transformation that he sees. Obviously, he was highlighting what a significant day this was for Israel and for the people there who have been waiting for that moment and the hostages to come home, the families, of course, and also for the people in Gaza who now are hoping for some relief from what they've been going through. But I think the emphasis he put on what this could mean for a transformed Middle East, his message was essentially, you all work together and there were things put aside in order to get to this deal. Let's see if this can keep going. Now, does that mean everything is going to be grand going forward? No. But I think that he was envisioning this as a transformational moment and hoping that this continues.
Yeah, and I think at least so far, the singular greatest achievement thus far of his two presidential terms is securing the ceasefire and the hostage release. Karen, I'm assuming the president's back stateside now, or will be shortly. Will the summit continue in Egypt? And if so, who will be representing the United States there?
No, that was really just a photo op, to get everybody together, a symbolic signing of the agreement. The president said, let's all meet a little bit afterwards, but he headed back to the airport pretty quickly. But I think the conversations continue. His special envoy, Steve Witkoff, said they are dug in, as he put it, at the direction of the president to continue these conversations because now, like I said, comes the hard stuff. But we'll see who the president meets with next directly to engage on this. Notably, he has President Zelensky on a separate conflict coming to the White House on Friday.
I know I'd be jet lagged after travel back from the Middle East, but does the president have anything on the agenda today? Anything we're watching for at the White House?
He does. He's actually welcoming the president of Argentina this afternoon for lunch, and today is the day he's going to give the posthumous Medal of Freedom to Charlie Kirk. So that's at 4 o'clock this afternoon.
4 p.m. All right. Karen Travers, ABC. Karen, as always, appreciate your time.
Have a great day. Thanks.
I should mention today would have been Charlie Kirk's 34th birthday, I believe. So President Trump, again, politics aside, the energy that dude has at 78 or 79, flies to Israel, flies to Egypt, flies back to D.C. I'd be done for 48 hours.
I walked to the grocery store the other day and then came home and took a nap.
Yeah, I would be out. I'd be like, I'm going to be on the couch with Soba and watching Netflix and ringing the bell. Do you think the president has like that bell that?
I mean, he's got that Diet Coke button.
Yeah, I keep watching all these period dramas in England.
I know what you mean, like the servant's
bell.
bell.
The butler bell. If I were president, I'd want a butler bell. Can I help you, sir? Filet of fish. A McDonald's filet of fish, please. Yes, sir. Anyway, I don't know how he gets the energy to do that. That's exhausting. And he's almost 80. He's the oldest president in U.S. history. And he's actually doing stuff today after a trip to the Mideast. And he didn't even sleep on the trip. He was talking to reporters on the trip. Crazy. Karen Travers at the White House. Any updates on that? I should mention, again, to me, it was remarkable that all 20 living hostages were returned inside that 72-hour window that President Trump gave to Hamas. Only 4, I believe, of 26 deceased hostages were returned. And we knew that was going to be a struggle. Nada Bashir in Jerusalem this morning.
Absolutely. A lot of hopes dashed yesterday. Only 4 bodies returned. We know, of course, at this stage, according to authorities, that all 4 have been identified, only 2 publicly named. The remaining 2 authorities are waiting for the family's permission to name them. And this, of course, has been a heartbreaking moment for many families waiting for this day. But it was understood prior to Monday that this may be a long process. And while as part of the deal, Hamas had committed to returning all of the hostage, including all of those deceased, within the 72-hour framework, it was understood by all those involved in those negotiation efforts that might be a very difficult task ahead. Now, we do understand that there is said to be an international committee that is set to be established in order to assist in recovering those remaining bodies. Again, the details around that at this stage are unclear. We know that since the ceasefire has come into effect, Gaza's civil defense has been recovering hundreds of bodies buried beneath the rubble. But for the families awaiting to receive that closure, to finally lay their loved ones to rest, this will be a difficult moment as they continue to wait.
Nada Bashir in Jerusalem. We'll see if more of those deceased hostages are returned to their families. I would imagine, as sad as that be, you want, your family's remains to be brought back and buried properly. Any developments on that, of course, updates throughout the day on 95.5 WSB. Should have called up Sanjay on this story. Even though the government is shut down, the IRS is expecting to see your returns by tomorrow if you filed an extension.
You got a job to do, you do it, just like fighting a war.
Yeah, that is not.
That's the truth, I guess.
Yeah, that's not Michael Toscano in Washington. This is, though.
The IRS is holding people who filed extensions to that October 15 deadline. An IRS spokesperson told CBS News taxpayers should continue to file deposits and pay federal income taxes as they normally would. Quote, the lapse in appropriations does not change federal income tax responsibilities. Apparently that's the case even if you're a government worker and the government isn't paying you right now. In a typical year, about 20 million Americans, 13% of all taxpayers, ask the IRS for a filing extension. Michael Toscano, CBS News, Washington.
We talked about that the other day. That's kind of a bummer. Like if you filed a tax extension and it's due while the government shut down, you'd think that's like waking up on the day of a big test and it's a snow day. You'd be like, yes, I don't have to take that.
And now you have digital learning days, and you have to take it anyway.
Like, that's a bummer. If you were like, oh, maybe I don't have to pay because the government shut down. No, you got to pay. Anyway, I'll text Sanjay from Brass Tax Accounting to get his advice. Thankfully, I already filed. Did you file? Do you have any extension?
No, I did. No.
Yeah.
Mine are so easy.
Yeah. Easy peasy.
Yeah.
All right. Not so easy on 75 in Marietta. By the way, just got some new audio from Speaker Mike Johnson. We'll talk. We'll get that. See if he is commenting on the government shutdown. Right now, though, better news on 75. Live with the latest. Good morning, Alex Williams.
Hey, good morning, Mark. Yeah, we had a crash and a lot of debris in the right center lane. 75 northbound, Highway 5, Canton Road connector, exit 267. Some truckers stopped. They cleared that debris, so everything back open. Those brake lights back toward Delk Road are starting to improve. Once you head up to Kennesaw and Ackworth, though, you slow again. 75 northbound from Wade Green Road up to right lane construction, just passing Highway 92, exit 277. And left lane construction continues in the cab, both directions, 285 north and southbound at Glenwood Road, exit 44. Traffic brought to you by the Georgia Lottery. Hey, Georgia, remember you can play Georgia Lottery games from almost anywhere on any device. Go to GALottery.com and click on DigiGames. Alex Williams, 95.5 WSB.
If it's happening on the streets of Atlanta.
After suspect refuses to exit home on Summer Chase Drive.
If it's happening on the roads leading to Atlanta.
Looks to be a tanker truck crashed into the median on the Jam Cam.
95.5 WSB has you covered.
The major culprits squeezing household budgets for auto insurance, gasoline, and utilities.
Your 24/7 news source. Tune in throughout the day to stay up to date.
95.5 WSB, Atlanta's breaking news station.
This is Scott Slade, and nothing takes the place of time when it comes to spotting problems with your health, especially cancer. The earlier, the better. That's where virtual imaging comes in. Virtual imaging's LDCT body scan can be invaluable, giving you more time for you and your loved ones to take charge of your health. They can detect tumors as early as precancerous virtually anywhere in your body, and aneurysms you may not even know are there. Due to overwhelming demand for a limited time, their $995 core body scan offer has been extended. It's a $2,495 value. Early detection saves lives, and now it's more affordable than ever. Virtual Imaging has gotten such great response to this offer that they've opened up more times in both offices, but appointments will fill up fast, so don't wait. Some minimum requirements may apply. Early detection is your best protection. To schedule your virtual imaging $995 core body scan, call 770-678-SCAN. That's 770-678-SCAN. Or make an appointment by visiting their website at virtualimagingatl.com.
I'm here with Chris Hoffman, the founder of Hoffman Financial Group and host of Money Unleashed. Chris, every week on the show, we offer folks something we call the Portfolio X-Ray. I was hoping you could walk us through that process and tell us why the information it uncovers is so powerful.
Yeah, so the reason we love doing the Portfolio X-Ray for you is we do that behind the scenes. Everybody's extremely busy. Nobody wants to waste time in traffic. If you call in, we will ask you for some information via the phone. Once you've given us that information, we go to work and we put all the hours in developing the report. And I commit this to you. The Portfolio X-Ray is eye-opening. At least 90+% of the time, we can find 2 or 3 golden nuggets in there that you were not aware of that we can either change in your current portfolio mix for you. It's called a 401k optimizer. Or if we manage the assets for you, we certainly can recommend how to diversify away from some of the troubling points that are exposed during the Portfolio X-Ray. Once we've got that, then we'll have you in for your initial consultation. We will present the Portfolio X-Ray to you and walk you through the high points of it. And that's a document that you get to take with you. It's like getting a financial physical. Mm-hmm. So how many of you avoided going to the doctor for the annual physical last year? You do the same thing with your financial life. You ignore it. You keep pumping money into your 401k. You hope that it's going well, and I can tell you that hope is not a good investment or financial planning strategy. You need to know. So if you want to know, call us.
The Portfolio X-Ray is complimentary. Give Hoffman Financial Group a call to schedule yours today. 404-737-3858, 404-737-3858, or online at unleashyourmoney.com. Investment advisory services offered through Brookstone Wealth Advisors, a registered investment advisor. Insurance and annuities offered through Hoffman Financial Group Incorporated, Georgia Insurance License number 163546.
Can you guys believe Halloween is approaching, Thanksgiving, Christmas? Omaha Steaks is helping you out right now with an early Black Friday sale. You can get 50% off site-wide right now, and you get an extra 20% off select favorites and more. It's limited time deals because it's the early Black Friday sale. You want the caramel apple tart list, but listen, if you're just into meal prep or you're tired of the family arguing over dinner, you load up the deliciousness from Omaha Steaks. I load up on the New York strips. It's what I feed the guys on Sunday nights for football weather. Grilling, it's fantastic, and I take advantage of this discount as well. And then here's the thing. At checkout, you use promo code ERIC, and you get an extra $35 off. Minimum order required. The unbelievable savings, 50% off site-wide, 20% off select favorites for a limited time for early Black Friday, and an extra $35 off. And all you do is go to omahasteaks.com, load up your cart. At checkout, you put in ERIC, E-R-I-C-K. Start saving real big today.
You've thought about assisted living for your parents, but maybe the right answer is renovating your home and having mom or dad move in. I'm Richard, Chief Architect at Sketch House, where we create custom architectural drawings for homeowners looking to remodel. Why get drawings first? You'll know what's possible. You'll be able to get pricing and compare builders apples to apples, and builders love drawings. You'll get bumped to the top of their list with drawings in hand. Let Sketch House help you make a decision about your aging parents at a fixed price. Visit sketchhouse.com. That's sketch, H-A-U-S.com.
October is here, and this is a perfect month for home comfort. Dave Baker for Coolray Heating and Cooling. See, in October, it'll still get plenty warm during the day, but it will get cool at night. So with the purchase of a complete Carrier system, Coolray's offering up to $2,250 back in rebates and free installation. That's heat, cool, and free installation. Get a jump start on keeping your home comfortable. Book your appointment online today at Coolray.com. Coolray and Carrier. Turn to the experts.
Happy 85th birthday, British pop singer Sir Cliff Richard. Here's his first hit in the U.S., Devil Woman. You're dancing to this, Deborah. You like this?
I got to know Cliff. Well, I don't have to know him, but familiar with his music very well these past couple years.
So much like my relationship with Usher, you never actually met him. You're just familiar
No,
with
I've got to know his music a lot more, yeah.
All right, so Sir Cliff Richard, that means we should absolutely get Sir Barry Manilow at some point.
Yeah, why not?
There you go. Speaking of music, Deborah's got tickets to give away to see Heart at Gas South Arena. Your chance to win those tickets right after the news at 11:30 here. All right, got some new audio from Speaker Mike Johnson. Thought he might talk about the government shutdown, but apparently he is pushing for President Trump to win the Nobel Peace Prize.
I'm proud to tell you that together with my friend Speaker Ohana of the Israeli Knesset, the equivalent of our Congress, we're going to embark upon a project together to rally speakers and presidents of parliaments around the world so that we will jointly nominate President Donald J. Trump for next year's Nobel Peace Prize. No one has ever deserved that prize more.
Now, I believe the nomination process for the Nobel Peace Prize ends in February, so they've got some time to do that. More from Speaker Mike Johnson on President Trump being nominated for the Nobel Peace Prize.
It's an indisputable fact that no president has undertaken the work of saving lives and pursuing peace with such determination and with such remarkable success as President Trump.
I agree with the second half of that. Again, I've said it from since yesterday. Like, this is the most notable accomplishment in the two President Trump terms. And it would be most notable accomplishment for any president if they were able to do this. The rub here, and I don't want to put salt on wounds or be a negative Nelly, but there's a long time between now and when the Nobel laureate votes on the Nobel Peace Prize. God forbid, and again, I'm knocking on wood, I don't want this to happen, but it's a fragile agreement right now. And God forbid that agreement fractures and we see hostilities return and the war begin again. That might mute the impact that President Trump's historic peace deal has when it comes to the Nobel laureate. And I believe it was was it this year? Like 265 people and organizations were nominated for the Nobel Peace Prize. That's a lot. There's a lot of competition. And despite the amazing success we saw yesterday, President Trump, and I don't think this is a surprise to anyone, is not viewed favorably around the globe, especially in nations that might have voters for the Nobel Peace Prize. So I'd say right now he's the leader in the clubhouse for the next Nobel Peace Prize after what we saw yesterday happen. But it's early, it's fragile, and people might not want to recognize the achievement because of preconceived notions of President Trump. But we'll see. All right, Speaker Mike Johnson didn't talk about the government shutdown there. We will update day 14 of the government shutdown when we come back. Deborah's got those tickets to give away. Social media is up and active through the broadcast at Mark Arum, Markarum. News, weather, and traffic in 3 on 95.5 WSB.
When you come home after being away, you see your home with fresh eyes. And eventually, you'll roll up to your old garage door and finally notice how chipped and faded that rusty old slab really is. But that's the first thing people see when they come visit. A 250 square foot bent aluminum lime green garage door that also squeaks. Welcome to our home. At Mo Better Garage, we make that way mo better. Our design consultants can help you find a strong, quiet, modern garage door that anyone would be proud to come home to. Modern materials that won't crack, dent, or fade. In contemporary styles that showcase your home's design. Call Mo Better Garage and let us show you just how joyful arriving back home can be.
Mo Better Garage, we make it way more better.
MoBetterGarage.com.
Atlanta DIY landlords, listen up. If you're exhausted from managing your rental properties all by yourself, my friends at Renters Warehouse Atlanta offering a 90-day test drive. Hire Renters Warehouse to manage your rental property for a low flat monthly fee as low as $115. If you're not satisfied at any time in the first 3 months, you can fire them. Get your management fees back. What do you get for that low flat monthly fee? A dedicated property management team, maintenance coordination, move in and move out property condition reports, advanced tenant screening with a 9-month tenant warranty, professional photography and videography, lease renewal processing and negotiations, online rent collection, monthly owner cash flow statements, and more. Renters Warehouse, so confident you'll love their service, they want an addition for your business. Choice is yours. Keep DIYing or see how Renters Warehouse can make your life easier. Start your 90-day test drive today. Go to rwatlanta.com or call 404-662-2322, 404-662-2322.
With thousands of 5-star reviews, it's no wonder CertaPro Painters is Greater Atlanta's most preferred painting company. Hear from one of their happy customers.
We wanted to add some color to our walls, so we hired CertaPro. We had built-in shelves that were supposed to be ready to paint when they got there, which they were not. CertaPro spent hours caulking and sanding to make sure the job was done right. It's rare to find a crew with integrity who really take pride in their work.
When choosing a painting professional, choose happy. Choose CertaPro Painters.
Each CertaPro Painters business is independently owned and operated.
Dave Baker for Beaver Toyota of Cumming. Looking for a new truck and looking for a great deal? Simply go to beavertoyotacumming.com/Dave's Deals and save money on a new Toyota Tundra. The Toyota Tundra from Beaver Toyota of Cumming is the official truck of the Home Fix-It Show.
Live from the Superior Plumbing Studios.
News, weather,
Traffic. 95.5 WSB.
Atlanta's News and Talk.
It's 11:30. Good morning. I'm Sabrina Cupid. This news sponsored by Main Street Auto. An escaped Carroll County inmate has been recaptured. David Emsley Wheels walked off a prison work detail. A manhunt started shortly after it was discovered that he was missing.
We concentrated our efforts in the area that we knew he was last seen in, which was in the area of Highway 113, I-20, Temple area corridor.
Now, Carroll County Sheriff's Department spokesperson Ashley Halsey says Wheels was found and taken into custody without further incident. In addition to charges for which he's already serving time, he will now face an additional charge of felony escape. Your weather for today, sunny and temperatures trending about 5 to 10 degrees above average. So an afternoon high right there around 83, says WSB meteorologist Christina Edwards. A man in Pennsylvania is being sentenced to decades behind bars after carrying out an arson attack at Governor Josh Shapiro's home. Cody Balmer pleading guilty to aggravated arson, attempted murder, and other charges related to the incident that happened on April 13th. Under a plea deal, he was given a sentence of 25 to 50 years in prison. Prosecutors said that he broke into Shapiro's residence, set it on fire on the second day of Passover. Happening now, early voting underway across Georgia for municipal elections in 2 state public service commission seats.
The District 2 and 3 seats on the State Public Service Commission are the only statewide races on ballots this fall. Those 2 races are years behind schedule due to a legal challenge over the districts and whether candidates have to live inside those districts. The commission's responsible for regulating and setting rates for utilities, including natural gas and electricity. Various local elections are also underway, including city council and mayoral races across Metro Atlanta. Election Day is November 4th. Austin Eller, 95.5 WSB.
As President Trump returns to the U.S., having presided over the signing of a peace agreement ending the Israel-Hamas fight over Gaza, Speaker of the House Mike Johnson today pushing for the president to be nominated for the Nobel Peace Prize. Johnson says it will be an international effort involving leaders of the countries that took part in the agreement signing.
It's an indisputable fact that no president has undertaken the work of saving lives and pursuing peace with such determination and with such remarkable success as President Trump.
Now, a couple of weeks ago, the Norwegian Nobel Committee announced the award would go to an opposition leader in Venezuela. The agreement over Gaza involving Israel and Hamas had not been finalized at that time. Now, your health. Health experts are emphasizing the importance of getting enough protein. Dr. Sandra Darling specializes in lifestyle medicine at the Cleveland Clinic and says that protein is needed to maintain muscle, but research also shows it could help with your brain as you age.
So people tend to increase their protein intake in the evening, for example, eating meat with dinner. But it's better for our health and for maintaining muscle mass to actually divide up that total protein among 3 meals per day.
Now, health experts recommend about 1 gram of protein per kilogram of body weight up until the age of 65, and then a slight increase in protein after that. Now, your money. New tariffs in effect today on lumber, furniture, and other wood products that potentially could add more cost to surging home prices and renovation projects. Correspondent Rebecca Jarvis has a look at what it's doing to the cost of furniture.
If you've been trying to buy furniture for your home, you've already seen those prices going up. The cost of furniture up 4.7% from a year ago. Living and dining room furniture up 9.5%.
All right, let's take a look at the markets. We're in the red this morning. The Dow's down slightly. NASDAQ's down almost 1%, and the S&P's down 0.5%. Let's get to check the roads. Alex Williams in the WSB 24-hour traffic center on this Tuesday morning. How we doing?
Just found a new travel advisory up into Suwanee, Sabrina. 85 northbound, Old Peachtree Road, exit 109. Crash knocking out 2 left lanes. No help on scene with it yet. The delays are quickly going to grow back to Highway 316. Satellite Boulevard will be a good alternate to get you around that. 985 southbound, you're seeing brake lights through Buford. It's due to construction on the ramp to Buford Drive, exit number 4. A couple of right lanes of that exit ramp are blocked. And then we also had the double left lane construction continuing into Cobb County, 285 both north and southbound at Glenwood Road, exit 44. Northbound delays start around Flat Shoals. Southbound you stack up around Memorial Drive. Alex Williams, 95.5 WSB.
This is WSB meteorologist Christina Upwards. Mostly sunny and warming up today, high 83, lows tonight in the mid-50s. Tomorrow, sunshine, high 84. Breezy at times on Thursday with sunny skies, high 81.
It is 69 degrees right now in Tucker, 73 in Winder. Marietta has 74 degrees. We'll have more news at noon, breaking news when it happens. I'm Sabrina Cupid, 95.5 WSB.
It doesn't have to be like this.
You don't have to put up with it.
Shutting down the ramp from 285 east.
You don't have to sit in it.
It takes almost 30 minutes to go 400 south.
And you don't have to look at your phone to get out of it.
It is Atlanta traffic, and getting you out of it is what we do best.
We had a lot going on this morning through Henry County.
Updated traffic as often as you need it from local traffic reporters 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.
It's a jackknife tractor trailer.
Triple team traffic.
95.5 WSB.
How Atlanta gets there.
They want to spend $24.6 million of your hard-earned dollars as a
Speaker Mike
taxpayer
Johnson moments
for
ago
climate
on the
resilience
government shutdown, day 14. Coming up next, we go back to D.C. for the latest there. Plus, Deborah's got tickets to give away to see Heart. All that coming up next on the Mark Arum Show.
Your friends at Steel Horse Law are motorcycle injury lawyers who ride. They've mastered safely riding our Georgia roads, and they've mastered the unexpected twists and turns of Georgia law. Hey, it's Eric Von Hessler for Steel Horse Law, the Stein and Karen Law Group. With all the changes in Georgia law, you need the most experienced local motorcycle injury law firm to protect your rights. You can trust them on the road and in the courtroom. Get a free case evaluation at steelhorselaw.com.
The following is a paid commercial announcement.
Millions of Americans use credit cards to purchase goods every day. The Durbin Marshall credit card mandates put the secure transactions you rely on at risk. leaving you vulnerable to hackers and foreign cybercriminals that want your data. Hackers win. You lose. Guard your card before it's too late. Tell Congress your data security is not for sale and oppose the Durbin-Marshall credit card mandates.
Paid for by Electronic Payments Coalition.
Is your heating and cooling system aging? Let Reliable protect your AC from breakdowns and your budget from costly, unexpected repairs. Just $19.99 a month. Hey, it's Mark Air. No deductibles, no hidden costs, no claims paperwork, and no service fees. Just amazing coverage. Visit reliableair.com/protectmyHVAC or give them a call. 770-594-9969. That's 770-594-9969.
Attention men, are you suffering from ED or PE? Here's an important message from Choice Men's Health.
I'm Dr. Katz, and I'm the Chief Medical Director at Choice Men's Health. Are you performing the way you want to in the bedroom? If the answer is no, and you've tried Viagra, Cialis, and Levitra and were disappointed, then you need to come see us immediately. If you don't see results on the first visit, then there's no charge. Many of our patients have medical conditions such as diabetes, hypertension, obesity, and prostate problems. I'm happy to say that we have 98% success rate with all our patients. Our customized solutions will allow you to perform within 10 minutes and last an hour and even longer. You can regain your love life and tackle your ED and PE problems. Guys, your partner will never complain again. Our clinic has the most affordable prices, so if you visit other clinics and you're not completely satisfied, then you need to call Choice Men's Health.
Regain your love life regardless of your age or medical history. Choice Men's Health guarantees results on your first visit or you pay nothing. Call now. 404-400-1170. That's 404-400-1170.
If you're ignoring any cracked bricks or concrete cracks, you could be ignoring underlying foundation problems. You'll want to get ahead of these problems sooner rather than later. Don't wait any longer. Visit aquaguard.net today to book your free inspection. Remember,
AquaGuard.
Ox, a camelena, kangaroo. I'm still not fully up to singing voice level. I'm still a little under the weather. Welcome back to the Mark Arum Show at 11:38. Coming up in just a second, go back to Capitol Hill, latest on the government shutdown. But first, we have some tickets to give away, an amazing pair of tickets, Deborah.
Yes, tickets to see Heart at Gas South Arena on February 15th.
You know what? I just realized I need a different bell. So that's the prize bell.
Mm-hmm.
I need the different, the butler brings me a fillet of fish bill. Yeah, I need one of those ding, 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 ding. Yeah. You can get those on Amazon, right?
You can get everything on
You
Amazon.
can get everything on Amazon. All right. No one wants the government shutdown to end more than Vinny, because that's the number caller that is going to win the tickets to see Heart at Gas South Arena. So 14th day of the government shutdown. That means the 14th caller to Vinny Drip at 404-872-0750. 14th caller to 404-872-0750 wins a pair of tickets to see Heart at Gas South Arena, courtesy of the Mark Arum Show and 95.5 WSB. Continue our team coverage of day 14 of the government shutdown. Joining us from CBS News, Capitol Hill reporter Torian Small. Torian, good morning. As always, thanks for your time.
Hey, good morning. Thanks for having me.
We have any good news yet? Day 14 into this? How long is it?
No.
No.
We did just get guidance from the Office of Personnel Management and OMB. They basically said that they're looking at other ways to continue with their priorities. They said they're basically batting down the hatches to ride out this uncertainty that we're seeing from Capitol Hill. But the main priority here appears to be paying the troops, paying law enforcement, and then continuing with these mass layoffs, also known as reduction in forces. And what we learned over the weekend from the Trump administration was that they're looking to appropriate unobligated research and development funds from the Pentagon to be used to pay these troops. Now, just how long or how sustainable that will be is to be seen. But again, we're on day 14. The last time we had a government shutdown, it went around 30-plus days. So we'll see how long this one lasts.
Yeah, I believe we heard from Speaker Mike Johnson yesterday saying, buckle up, this could be a long one. You mentioned the RIFs. We got hit here heavily in Atlanta over the weekend. 1,000 CDC workers are fired. Unfortunately, two of my friends got that RIF notice. I heard there was some talk from the administration of using all of this new tariff money to pay the troops and pay the folks that aren't getting paid right now. Is that a possibility? Does the executive branch have the power of the purse strings when it comes to this?
Well, that's the really gray area around this. This is obviously a relief for House Speaker Mike Johnson, who was receiving an immense amount of pressure from not just Democrats, but some Republican members in his ranks, saying that he should bring Congress back and they should consider standalone bills to appropriate money or funding for troops pay, for example. But what's interesting, over the weekend, I talked with Representative Amelia Sykes, who authored, and she was one of the bipartisan sponsors for the Pay Our Military Act. She said that her main concern with this solution that the Trump administration is putting out is the legality of it. Congress is the body that holds the power of the purse. So without their authorization, it's unclear if President Trump going forward with these unilateral moves to fund these specific departments is allowed, and whether or not that would be tied up in the courts is another thing to be seen. I don't necessarily know if optically it will look great to challenge that type of move, but again, it does call into question whether or not the executive branch can move unilaterally when it comes to appropriations.
Yeah, Congress, I mean, they are the ones that allocate the money. They have the power of the purse, and they're not in session. What's the latest with our congressional leaders?
Yeah, so the Senate returns today. It's likely today that they'll vote for an eighth time on dueling continuing resolutions, one proposed by Democrats that includes expanding health care tax credits set to expire at the end of the year, and then also some other things to roll back some Medicaid cuts that we saw happen earlier this year. And then the other one, which is known as a clean continuing resolution that Republicans passed out of the House. And that essentially keeps spending levels at the current levels they were before October 1st, the government shutdown happened. The problem is it doesn't appear that both sides are talking to each other outside of those tiffs, those very public tiffs in the hallways of Congress. But whether or not negotiations are going on is still yet to be seen.
No surprise, Democrats blame Republicans. Republicans blame Democrats. On Capitol Hill, is it easy to see, or can you see which side is facing more pressure from the public in regards to the government shutdown?
Well, according to our polling, we know that a slight majority of respondents believe that Republicans are to blame for this. I believe that's also part of the reason why the Trump administration has been hitting so hard to center this as Democrats' fault. The OMB this morning put out a post on social media saying that this is a Democrats' intransience. We saw over the past week the Department of Homeland Security putting out these video messages at airports with Director Kristi Noem, basically saying Democrats are the reason why you're seeing delays in your flights. And then we also know, like, pretty consistent since the shutdown happened, Republican leadership have been holding press conferences pretty much calling out Democrats for this. Democrats are, of course, pushing back, saying that the real issue here is the fact that Republicans went at this alone. They didn't include them as part of any negotiations for a continuing resolution. And the problem still exists that these very important premiums, healthcare premiums, will go up if there isn't any negotiations or any intervention now. And they say they aren't willing to accept an IOU and help them get across the finish line this time.
Yeah, we'll see once the open enrollment start if public sentiment changes. Torian Small, CBS News, live in D.C. Torian, as always, appreciate your time.
Thank you.
11:45 on the Mark Arum Show. Again, Speaker Mike Johnson was addressing reporters. The Senate is going to vote again today, but we do not think there'll be more Democrat defectors that will side with Republicans, so it looks like it will be for naught. More from Speaker Mike Johnson moments ago.
Chuck Schumer doesn't like that. He doesn't like that we're trying to get Washington to work again because he doesn't know how to operate in that kind of system. And we're certainly not going to allow the American people to be taken hostage for his political gain.
I bet even money. Eric Erickson's going to talk about the government shutdown. He takes over after us, after the new news here on WSB. I've already added to my Amazon cart, Longoria, a Butler bell. So I'll have two separate bells here in the studio. Nice. Yeah, I got a nice brass. It was like $7.
That's it?
Yeah,
that's
it.
not bad. Yeah.
Do you want one?
Sure.
All right.
I can use one.
I'll get a couple.
Be able for everyone in the room. Just
Yeah, ding, 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 ding.
Yeah, I can do it from my office. I can yay.
Vinny.
Yeah.
I'm ready for my hot cocoa. Anyway, speaking of Amazon, Deborah, Amazon is the go-to place when you need anything, any sort of tchotchke. They are going to hire how many seasonal workers this year?
Amazon says it's planning to hire 250,000 holiday workers, which is actually kind of odd because a lot of the stores, like big box stores that usually
not
do,
hiring,
they're
yeah.
saying they're at least going to slow down on hiring. But no,
Zoinks.
Amazon knows everybody's going to be ordering stuff, and they got to have people ready to pack and ship and drive and everything.
All
So
right.
yeah, if you need a seasonal job, Amazon.
Yeah, if you need to see, I've got a friend whose son is a player in the NFL, and she refers to him as my son who's got seasonal work, like a seasonal job.
I love that.
Yeah, I'm like, well, I guess that's right. But if you need a side hustle, Amazon might be a way to go. Speaking of holidays, might be spending more to send our holiday packages via USPS.
Yeah, if you're going to be shipping packages at Christmas time to anybody, their postal service is going to have temporary increase in cost. So it's only going to be from like the end of October through January, so the big shipping season.
Yeah.
And it's going to range anywhere from, 30 cents to $13, depending on how big the package is and what delivery zone it's in. So obviously bigger cities, different zones, and like rural areas. And again, it's only temporary, but it's part of their 10-year plan to roll out some measures to get them into financial stability.
Yeah. Bring back the Pony Express. $13
right.
increase on a price of yeesh. That's why free
Hope you
shipping.
got free shipping on that bell.
I'm gonna go. Well, I've got to order 20. I've got to order 4 bells to qualify for
Or I
free
sent
shipping.
you a link for something.
But they can be here tomorrow thanks to Amazon. This was not a commercial for Amazon, by the way. I'm just trying to keep pace with Maya on the number of Amazon packages that come to my house. It's like the Amazon delivery folks are extended family members at this point. That's how often they come to my house. How often do we check traffic? Pretty dang often. Let's go back to Atlanta's only 24-hour traffic center and Alex Williams.
Hey, Mark, watching this travel advisory between Duluth and Suwanee. Crash 85 northbound Old Peachtree Road, exit 109. 2 left lanes are blocked. You're stacked up back toward Highway 316. Satellite Boulevard, a good alternate to get you around that. Elsewhere, double left lane construction continues both ways into Cobb County. 285 north and southbound at Glenwood Road, exit 44. Slow in that ride. Also watching the brake lights on 75 north through Kennesaw and Ackworth due to road work in Ackworth. 75 northbound Highway 92, exit 277. That construction is blocking the right lane. Alex Williams, 95.5 WSB.
When news breaks,
Hamas released all the remaining living Israeli hostages and many Palestinian prisoners released in the West Bank.
we've got it covered.
This will be remembered as the moment that everything began to change and change very much for the better.
Tune in often for the latest.
Now it's a day full of hope.
95.5 WSB, Atlanta's breaking news station.
Hey y'all, it's Belinda Skelton for Four Seasons Home Care. As many of you know, I lost both my parents recently, but I'm so thankful they were able to finish their lives at home where they wanted to be. And Four Seasons Home Care was so helpful to my family throughout the process. I get emails from listeners all the time and why I trusted Four Seasons Home Care. They tell me I don't want just anyone to care for my parents. Well, of course you don't. So here's why I work with Four Seasons Home Care. This is a real family-owned company. They vet and hire every single one of their caregiving specialists, and they don't farm out the care to contractors, and they're not some national corporation. So here's my advice, folks. Call Four Seasons Home Care and just start the conversation. Do your homework. This is a huge decision. It's a 100% free call that can change everything. Google Four Seasons Home Care Atlanta. That's Four Seasons Home Care Atlanta.
When you come home after being away, you see your home with fresh eyes. And eventually, you'll roll up to your old garage door and finally notice how chipped and faded that rusty old slab really is. But that's the first thing people see when they come visit. A 250 square foot bent aluminum lime green garage door that also squeaks. Welcome to our home. At Mo Better Garage, we make that way mo better. Our design consultants can help you find a strong, quiet, modern garage door that anyone would be proud to come home to. Modern materials that won't crack, dent, or fade. In contemporary styles that showcase your home's design. Call Mo Better Garage and let us show you just how joyful arriving back home can be.
Mo Better Garage, we make it way more better.
MoBetterGarage.com.
It's the Medicare Advantage annual enrollment period, and Humana knows not everyone has the same needs when picking a Medicare Advantage plan.
Now that I'm retired, I want to enjoy the life I've worked hard to build. So I want a plan that covers me when I'm traveling the country.
Humana has a plan for that.
As a veteran, I want a plan that fills in the gaps my VA coverage doesn't provide, like dental care.
Humana has a plan for that.
I feel good about my health. I just want care and coverage with predictable costs. No surprises.
Humana has a plan for that. With a Humana Medicare Advantage plan, you get coverage and benefits that focus on what matters most to you. Learn more at gethumana.com. Humana, a more human way to healthcare. Humana is a Medicare Advantage HMO and PPO organization with a Medicare contract. Enrollment in any Humana plan depends on contract renewal.
Dave Baker here for Coolray Heating and Cooling, Plumbing, and Electrical. It's October, fall festival, spooky parties, and believe it or not, the holidays are right around the corner. So is your house ready for the good times, the little goblins, and friends and family? Is your HVAC system ready to keep your house comfortable through all that? No? Well, right now, with the purchase of a complete Carrier system, Coolray's offering 12 months, 0% financing, and free installation. That's heating, cooling, and free installation. But maybe your HVAC system's working just fine. Well, Mr. Plumber, a Coolray company, is offering $100 off any plumbing service. From aging water heaters to clogged drains, Mr. Plumber has you covered. It's perfect timing. Say hello to total home comfort and smooth flowing plumbing. Visit Coolray.com to schedule your appointment today. No busy signals, no waiting on hold. Choose the day and time that work best for you. Think of it as an early holiday gift. Coolray and Carrier. Turn to the experts.
Paid for by Christian Care Ministry.
Hey, I am Brant, and her name is Sherry, and she's a friend and a colleague of mine, and we were just praying for her, actually, because she had a major surgery she just went through.
Yes, and I am very happy about something you actually talk about all the time, which is Medi-Share. That's right.
Of course.
Yeah.
So what was your experience like with Medi-Share and your healthcare bills?
You know what? It was seamless. And that's such a blessing when you're already nervous about a health issue, which I was.
Yeah.
Members shared my expenses. There were zero problems. And let me tell you, having people pray with you when you call in and it's just what you need, it's so refreshing.
Yeah, that's what I keep telling people. People love Medi-Share and saving tons of money. The typical family, I'm fond of saying, can save $500 a month.
I am so thankful for Medi-Share. It's so different, and I mean different in a very, very good way, Brant.
It is a good different. Call right now. They're so easy to talk to. You can get a price within 2 minutes. Here is the number, 855-51-BIBLE. That's 855-51-BIBLE. 855-51-BIBLE.
11:54 on the Mark Arum Show. Congrats to Lisa in Powder Springs. We got to determine when the Butler Bell comes tomorrow what bell I'm going to use for what. But anyway, Lisa won tickets to see Heart, courtesy of the Mark Arum Show and 95.5 WSB. I didn't have time yesterday to pay tribute to Diane Keaton, who passed away at the age of 79. Just looking at her amazing IMDb portfolio, Deborah. Obviously, Godfather 1 and 2, Sleeper, Annie Hall, Manhattan, two big two big Woody Allen movies, Radio Days. She was in that, another Woody Allen movie, Godfather Part 3, Father of the Bride with Steve Martin.
I love that remake.
So good. Father of the Bride Part 2, First Wives Clubs. She was on an episode of Curb Your Enthusiasm. I don't remember that. Oh, it was voice only. Just so many amazing movies. The Big Wedding, Finding Dory. Passed away at the age of 79. She had, unless I'm reading this obituary incorrectly, she had a child at the age of 50.
Yeah, she was. I believe she was never married.
Never married.
Yeah, she
had a child at the age of 50. To me, her two most legendary roles, obviously, Godfather.
I want you to know I'm very happy for you. I suppose I always knew you were too smart to let any of them ever beat you.
That was from The Godfather Part 2, and the iconic role in Annie Hall.
Oh, God, what a dumb thing to say, right? I mean, you say it, you play well, and then right away, I have to say you play well. Oh, God, Annie. Well,
Oh, well.
La-di-da.
La-di-da. La-di-da.
So she changed. I was too young when that came out to know this, but in Annie Hall, she wore a necktie, and apparently like blew up the fashion industry where women started wearing neckties in the 70s for that. But she was an amazing actress. Diane Keaton passed away at the age of 79.
Longoria's fact of the day.
All right, today is National Dessert Day. And as you know, cupcakes, the name comes from the time when bakers measured ingredients by the cupful, making them cakes made from cups. That's why they're named cupcakes.
Wait, say that again? They measured the...
So the name comes from the time when bakers measured ingredients by the cupful, making them cakes made from cups.
Interesting. All right, so it's just National Dessert Day.
Yeah, anything.
Dessert with 2 S's. Desert has 1 S.
Sure. Okay.
Speaking of measuring, did you know... I know social media can be the devil, but sometimes you learn some stuff. You know those red Solo cups? Everyone knows those?
Yeah.
Did you know
Everyone
those
knows those.
lines?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, they're marks on for ounces. Yeah.
Yeah, I had no idea.
Really?
I went to college.
So did I, but...
I mean, I used it. Yeah, you didn't use that when you were playing beer pong or anything?
No, I just thought they were like ridges for easy holding. Like, no, but there's... Did you know that, Vinny?
I didn't know that.
Yeah, fist
it makes
bump.
sense, though.
Yeah, makes sense. You and I are getting star of the show, Vin, for not knowing that those are
There's
measured.
no pity stars of the show.
Yeah, that's it. No, that's Vinny and I are simpatico. Heard.
And now, are you guys ready for the Mark Arum?
All right, me and Vinny.
Show?
I did my breakfast, but Vinny, that was a pity one. What happens when we get pity stars of the show, Deborah?
Look what happened last year.
Look what happened
with pity
last
stars.
year. Other stars of the show, Tori and Small from CBS News and Karen Travis both joined us in Washington, D.C. Mike Dabusky on the huge breakthroughs in quantum computing. That could be a legit game changer. Rory O'Neill updating the government shutdown and government retirees. Obviously, a couple of big stories, the government shutdown and the Israel-Hamas peace deal. Updates constantly throughout the day if anything pops on those. I'll be active on social media after Deborah and I have a meeting with the boss. At Mark Arum, Markarum. Stick around. Eric Erickson is coming up next.